welcome back to another episode of The Daniel Taylor Show. Could we have picked a more pretentious name? No, we couldn't have. We tried. That was the best we could come up with. I like to... Actually, wait, let me introduce first. What am I doing? The gent and the scholar to my right has to be, hands down, one of the gnarliest guys that I've ever met, I've ever known. Makes everyone look around him like giant... What's PC? What's a new word? We can't talk like we used to when we were young.
Oh, I know.
What do we say? It makes everyone around him look like giant wussies. Giant Steve Goulds,
well,
as we call
I don't know
them.
about that.
Yeah, I do. And I'm gonna die on that hill. It is the infamous Brandon Dudley. Brandon, what's up, brother?
Not too much. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Of course. So look, we got to say this right out of the gate. Me and this kid go way back. We're talking how old?
Oh, geez. Was that?
You were
probably 9.
I was gonna say you were, because you're. How much younger are you than me?
I'm 26 now, so
4 years.
4 years.
Yep. Jesus. Which isn't that funny now when you get up to like near 30? 4 years is nothing. We're the same age. But back then, when you're 9 and I'm 13, am I bad at math? That's right. 13. That's huge.
It is huge, and my parents were like,
like, this kid is too crazy.
Yeah.
Then look at you. You're crazier than me. What happened? Oh, man. No. So anyway, you guys know, if you watch this show regularly, which how can you, because it's very new. Also, thank you if you do, that we like to get guests whatever their favorite drinks are. And I'm not like saying we try to make everyone booze hounds. If it's like, strawberry soda, I'll buy it. I don't care what it is, but I'm a drink guy. You go to my fridge, it's 2/3 drinks and 1/3 things I shouldn't be eating. So Brandon requested this really dope vodka that I hadn't heard of by Dan Bilzerian.
Yes.
And that's his brand.
yes, his brand.
Ignite?
Yep, Ignite.
So I scour the interwebs, okay? I'm like, where can I find it, one? And two, who will ship it to our house? And I find a place, and I call. I do all the proper production. I call, and I'm like, yo, got a guest coming in. I need this vodka. If I order it, when will it be here? No big deal, Dan. Thursday. It's going to be here Friday, a week later. Yeah. So I had to go scour and find. And I figured, what better than to support some fellow Mainers, but some Cold River vodka. Have you tried this?
I have never had that.
Have you heard good stuff about it?
And I haven't heard anything about it. I'm pumped to try it.
Dude, I'm pumped. So what do we got? I read your text. I bought us some cran, and I bought us some. Did you mean cran?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It came through as crab, and I was like, I know this guy's gnarly, but if he puts king crab in his vodka, I lose.
No, I'm not that gnarly.
Dude. Do you want to start with Red Bull?
Yeah, totally up to you.
Oh, man. Are you a sugar-free kid or a norm?
Norm.
Yeah, I'm a Danny Glucose, baby. I'm not I'm not Danny Aspartame. I'm not cool enough. How heavy are we going? Can no one see this, hopefully?
I hope they can.
What do you think?
I like mine. Right there is good. I like 3/4.
Dude.
A lot of times straight, though.
He's crazier than me. Okay, I'm going to give this one to you. I'm going to watch your level and go far below it. No, I can't do that.
No, you're going to match it. I'm
trying very hard. The goal at some point is to get Mr. Stephen King on. Because, big Maine boy. I'm a big proponent since I've moved back of Maine guys.
Yes.
And why not? Doesn't matter how big or how small. And a friend of mine said that his literary agent lets him go nowhere near alcohol because he's recovering, which I totally respect.
Really, yeah.
So yeah, when hopefully he doesn't watch this one, and he's like, no way.
I ain't going on that.
I'm not doing this.
No.
Oh man, this is heavy.
Oh, my mouth's watering. I'm excited.
You're like, every hair on my body standing up. I'm ready. So everyone just listening to this is like, what are they doing? All right, I'm gonna have to give you a little sugar free. Is that cool?
Yeah, perfect.
Like, what are these kids doing? I can't see. I can't hear. All right.
Nice. Thank you.
All right. Let's do a little cheers, dude. This is, God, to what's an Irish drinking cheer? Live long enough to drink more. Good enough. Wow. You know what's funny is I don't drink vodka. Anyone that watches this show or this channel knows that I'm a big bourbon dude or whiskey guy. God, that mixes well.
It does.
It's dangerous.
That's smooth.
Unbelievably smooth.
It is.
And it was funny because I'm like, it's not that expensive, but it's also not cheap, like bottom shelf.
Yeah.
And I'm like, a Maine vodka for that price, and hot damn.
I
That's
like it.
I haven't had Grey Goose in a while, but that from memory is pretty close.
Yeah, honestly,
And that's potato, right?
I'm not a big fan of Grey Goose, to be honest.
Original potato. Yeah. Is it too bland, too smooth?
I don't know what it is. It's weird.
Yeah.
I drank it. I went on a cruise, 7-day cruise, a couple years ago, and I drank just straight Grey Goose on the rocks the whole entire time.
You're taking advantage of that drink pass?
Yeah. Oh, I took advantage of it.
Smart.
They're probably like, this kid's crazy.
Yeah, get him out of here.
But
send him on an excursion and leave.
No, I drank it, and I don't know if that ruined it for me. Drinking it 7 days straight, just on the rocks.
Did you have like some shitty nights and that did you in?
No, not
really.
I didn't.
Really, it's just burnt out. Too much, too soon.
It's like that. It has like an acclimated taste that as soon as it hits my mouth, I'm like,
yeah, it just doesn't do. Yeah,
I'd rather have Tito's.
And the funny thing, dude, Tito's has blown up in modern times, and rightly so. They're fucking awesome, and for the money,
they are.
It's killer. It's killer. Man, it's like there's so much to dive into. I don't even know really where to start and where to step off the ledge here. Let's start with some context. So, for those of you that know Brandon outside of me, it is probably because he is an insane motocross racer and champion, and I can say champion now because you are.
Yeah.
This kid, silver X-Game medal.
Yes.
Oh, I should have worn it. It should be like Flavor Flav.
I should have.
Oh, next time. It's good. Well, this is what I said to him. Because his vodka's still coming in, it just means we got to have him back, right? What the hell?
Another one.
That's right, DJ Khaled.
Like
But anyway, so me and Brandon go way back. I mean, there's so many incarnations of our friendship, brotherhood, if you will. At one point, you even played with my band.
Yeah.
At one point.
I did.
Short-lived, but I even feel like, and I was trying to remember this last night, I was like, I have a fleeting memory of you even filling in for Logan at some point, but I don't know if that's true or not. Because it was so long ago, and there were so many incarnations of that group, I don't remember.
No, me either, to be honest.
It wouldn't surprise me, though, early on, because you held your own. You were actually supposed to play drums. You were the first drummer.
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
was. I do remember that, and I think it came to that I was a little bit too young at the time.
Yeah. Well, I'm like booking us shows at like places where adults are getting hammered and we're in our preteens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I was a mother's worst nightmare. But
the biggest thing I remember as playing in the band was keyboard.
You
at the high school.
Yeah.
Dance.
I was just going to say, you actually did play keyboard for a while.
And
you did.
I think I was in like 6th grade at that
Young
time.
as shit, playing for our 9th grade.
I just didn't even know what to think.
Dude, I love it. Yeah, that's right. We did a concert for a fundraiser for my class. Yeah. And yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. What did we used to do? You played, here's a memory test. You played Dead or Alive. You did the synth work. And then you did Old Time Rock and Roll, the big piano intros. We didn't play that there, but you played it. Fun times, man. So then we go on to skating and snowboarding. You were like a cast member of our like ripoff of Jackass, Dumbass.
Yeah.
You were on, I just revisited those. I don't even know where they are. I've got DVDs, but they're somewhere on the internet, and people should probably not find them because we'll be canceled. We had the worst mouths in the world back then. You were on all 3 movies. You were in at least one of the skate videos. God damn, man. And then this kid took off to pursue music, and I could count on one hand how much time I was here in a decade at one point.
Yeah.
I mean,
you were
very
gone.
little. Gone.
I
mean, it was always catch-ups. Like, what's up, man? How you been? I'm like, I'm in Florida, or I'm in Nashville. I'm somewhere. But I'm back, and I love it. And I love that, the funny thing about a podcast is it's not hard to text someone and catch up. But we were just talking about this before we went on air, that it seems like even though it's not hard, there's a million reasons not to, not even in a bad way. You just don't do it. Like as we get older, we realize like, wow, our parents were right. Just generally living is so time consuming.
It is.
And you take that for granted, man.
Time absolutely flies. You think, I'll reach out to him next week or the week after.
That's right.
You keep saying next week.
Sooner or later, a year's gone by.
Next thing you know, it's 2 years later, and you're like, oh, it just seems like yesterday I was going to reach out to him.
Dude, yes. I remember actually, funny enough, to talk about like the empathetic end of this, when Logan texted me. We hadn't talked in years, just happenstance. Nothing went wrong. We just didn't. And he had texted me about a while back. I don't remember when. This must have been soon after the accident. He was going to have me play a fundraiser. And I was like, of course I'll do it. But I don't remember I don't even remember if that happened. But I remember us catching up, not in a sappy way, but it was bittersweet because it was like, wow, it takes something of this caliber happening just to text a childhood friend, a borderline family member. And that's life, man.
Life happens, yeah.
Yeah.
It does. It gets away from you, and
it's something to stay vigilant about.
When that comes about, you're like, wow, I feel bad. I haven't reached out before now. It's happened to me multiple times.
Oh, it does, yeah.
But, I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, well, you talk about it. That's the thing. A lot of people like to just avoid, like, the weird not talking for a while. And it's like, dude, we live in a culture of such, like, hideaway. Yep. And it makes everything awkward and weird. And it's like, all you got to do is be upfront and just say it. Yeah, it's no big deal.
No.
But yeah, and I think that is the cool thing about getting older as a group. It's like we all get to see our own side of that. And we're like, oh shit, like it isn't personal. Life does take a huge amount of time and energy. Anyway, fun stuff. Let's jump in. I wanted to ask you, and I know I did a little bit on the phone. Has any media, because you did do quite a bit of press.
I did,
especially coming off of the X Games win.
Yep.
Have you ever had an opportunity to talk in long form about what happened?
Nope.
Never had.
There's many people that have followed my journey.
You have it, and I, not to interrupt you, but I have to jump in because I got to say, every time I'm at my wit's end with social media, and of course the things we both do require us to be on it. I mean, if I'm playing music, I have to be on it.
Yeah.
It's such a toxic wasteland. But then every now and then I'll see something you post, and the amount of people that genuinely rally behind it,
crazy.
It's so heartwarming, dude.
It is. It's crazy.
It's unreal.
It's honestly what keeps me going. And
that sounds cliche, but you legitimately mean it.
Yeah, I do. It's giving me goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, people
talking about
people
it right now.
want to support. I mean, I think, I don't want to jump ahead. Let's start there. I'll let you start. So what was the event that this happened at?
So 2015, a little over 6 years ago, it was August 14th. I was racing motocross heavily, and for anyone that doesn't know that term, it's dirt bike racing. And I was at the point where, I knew I wasn't going to be professional, but it was...
You were a serious contender, though.
Yeah, I mean, there was a group of us guys that were going at it every single weekend.
Yeah.
Doing awesome. I was moving up in the ranks. I was very happy.
You were winning a lot of races too.
Yeah. Right? My girlfriend now back home, we have trophies that are sitting in the house. We just moved a few months ago.
Oh, word.
And she's like, what are we going to do with these trophies? They're just hanging out in the living room, and there's a whole cabinet full, and it's only like a third of them. So.
Oh, right. And that's only a few seasons.
Yeah. I mean, one season, I think 2013 or 14, I acclimated probably 40 or 50 trophies.
Jesus, one season?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
You were killing it.
Racing every weekend. Anyways, so August 14th, honestly, it was just practice.
Yeah.
My buddy had just rebuilt my bike.
Yep.
The weekend before that, I went down to New York. It was my first race out of state.
Cool.
And race. We went down to the Pro Motocross National, Unadilla.
Oh, right.
New York to watch that on Saturday, and it was the amateur races Friday and Sunday. So I went down there and raced that on my buddy's.
Sweet. Oh, on his rig.
On his bike,
cool.
Because mine was in the midst of being rebuilt. So,
yeah.
So he's like, use mine, and his was newer than mine, so I felt more comfortable on his anyways. So anyways, I went down there, raced, did awesome out of state. I placed 5th that weekend. I had some bad luck. I went down in a couple motos, and
it happens. Just a bad run.
But it was an awesome time. Probably
yeah.
The best weekend of my life I think I've ever had.
Are you serious? Still to this day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Still.
What was it? Just the atmosphere of not being amongst the locals? Like you're actually out there, you're in the world, you're with people you don't know.
Exactly.
That's dope.
And the competition down there, I thought I was fast coming out of Maine. I was like, I'm going to go down here. I'm winning. I went down there and these kids are blowing by me. I'm like, what? I'm wide open. How can I go any faster?
Dude, I'm not a quick interjection, but most people, this is why you need to leave the nest. Like I remember leaving to do music, and in all these music epicenters, you're like, coming out of Maine, you're a big fish. You go there and you're like, oh, I'm average. Yeah. And amongst these guys, you're like, oh, this is where the best come. Like, so yeah, I get that. And it is a very humbling experience, man.
It is.
Yeah. And you need it.
Yeah, definitely. So anyways, we're down there. practice was Friday morning early, race Friday, had some wicked good motos all day, went down once, nothing crazy. Broke the clutch lever. I had to finish the race with no clutch.
How do you do that? Just time shifting and doing it right?
Just jamming the gears. I felt bad for my buddy's bike, just wide open.
What does that do to a gearbox?
You definitely want to change the oil after because you're going to find some
particles
grindage in there.
Jesus.
But and then so Friday night everything went awesome. My buddy raced too. He did good, and then it was just party mode. We love to have a good time,
dude. My old man, before I was too young, right? But he raced Oxford Plains, one like serious champion down that way. Again, never left the state though. Never like tried his hand against real competitors, but was good nonetheless. And I remember him before he passed. He was always reminiscing about how, from the outside it was like, oh, we're just a bunch of party hounds. He's like, and it wasn't really that. He's like, but there's such a sense of camaraderie amongst those race guys and those crews that gets brewed while you're doing that it's almost like, a post MMA match. Like you've got to let loose. There's been so much tightening, of attitude, of seriousness, of competitiveness that you have to let loose. You got to get it out.
Absolutely.
But he said there's nothing like it.
No,
there's nothing like it.
So we partied hard Friday night. Saturday was the Pro National. Partied all day Saturday.
Jesus,
having a hell of a time.
So were you young enough at that? Well, how old were you?
I was 19.
So were you young enough to recuperate enough from that partying?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you were.
Yeah. I could stay up 1-2 in the morning and wake up the next morning, chug a water, and I'd be good to go.
Not even hungover.
Nope. Good
Crazy.
to go. I mean a little bit. I'd go out, practice, sweat it off, and I'd feel like $1 million.
Yeah. The best wake up.
So Sunday, went out, finished the races. Was wicked tired.
Yeah.
Had to drive home Sunday. I had to work Monday.
Okay.
I would work all week, spend my whole paycheck racing every weekend. That's just how it went. But I had to work Monday, so we had to get done racing, pack up. We stopped and swam at this famous waterfall in New York, which was awesome.
Cool. What do you know what it was?
Geez, I can't remember. I see it all over social media all the time. People jumping off these cliffs. And
I think I know the one, but I have not been. So
it was cool. Anyways, went back to work that whole next week. Friday night, my buddy's like, "Hey, your bike's done." I'm like, "Sweet deal. I want to try it out after work." So at this time, I just had my Jeep. I borrowed my brother's truck. I had to go pick my bike up. This was in. Oh, geez, I can't even remember the name of the town now.
Where your buddy was?
Yeah, where my bike was.
Word.
It was China.
Oh, wow.
China.
Okay.
Out by Waterville.
Yep.
So I picked my bike up, my brother's truck, headed to the track. It was getting dark.
And this was this was the next weekend you're talking about now?
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
It's like Friday.
This is
Thursday.
a week after the Unadilla race.
Okay.
So, yep.
So now you're back in Maine.
Back in Maine.
Okay.
Yep. Picked my bike up, headed to my buddy's track in Vassalboro. We were all a close group of buddies out of Vassalboro, Augusta, China.
Sure.
We had like a small race team, CMS Custom Mod Shop. And
you guys would race with and against each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
It was awesome.
Healthy competition.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Party, close friends.
Yeah.
Get up, race, just have an awesome
killer
time.
guys.
I was having the best summer of my life, really. Just having an awesome time. Went out there. It was almost dark. I remember I had my bike pulled into the track. I had never ridden this track before. My buddy goes, it's kind of rough out there. I said, yeah, I'm not worried about it. It was rain rutted and stuff. No big deal.
Nothing you hadn't ridden before.
No.
Yeah.
Thing hasn't been groomed in a while. I'm like, I just want to test this thing out.
Sure.
Whatever.
Oh wait, this was just test. This was just practice.
Practice. I was riding by myself. I joked about this with my buddy.
Here we go.
I give him shit all the time. He was supposed to ride with me that night, and he ditched me for the Skowhegan Fair.
And you're like, if we were riding together.
I told him, I'm like, if you would have been riding with me, I wouldn't have crashed.
Dude, I bet he's like...
That's just my sense of humor.
Yeah.
They know it.
Well, we grew up dipshits.
But,
like we're just pretending to be behaved.
Yeah, but no, it's cool. He was doing his own thing. Worse could have happened. Who knows? It just
at best case scenario, maybe. Right. Yeah.
So I'm out there, and I remember gearing up. This is like one of the last memories that I remember. I remember throwing my gear on, and
oh, you mean gearing up literally?
In the back of the truck, I just unloaded the bike. I'm gearing up, putting my gear on.
Gotcha.
Pants, boots. I look at my jersey. I'm like, no, I'm not going to throw my jersey on. I'm just going to ride in a T-shirt. I look at my neck brace. By the way, I'll get into this later.
And this is legit.
This is legit. I look at my neck brace. I'll get into the story later.
Yeah.
I traded this neck brace, best trade of my life because it saved my life. I looked at the neck brace and I was like, nah, I don't need this. I'm just going out for a couple laps. It's almost dark. And I said, screw it. It takes 3 seconds to put on. I'm going to put it on.
Dude.
So I put the neck brace on. I threw my helmet on, buckled, no goggles. I took off. Around the track I go. I did a lap to, it's a huge track.
Yeah.
It was 40, 50, 60, 70-foot jumps.
Jesus.
So I do a lap to check out all the jumps. Second lap, I start getting into it, going around.
Third lap, you get your confidence.
Third lap, I'm absolutely flying.
Yeah.
This is the fastest I felt in my entire life. I've never felt so in sync with it on a dirt bike. Just couldn't believe it.
And you were feeling good.
Good, awesome. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I'm flowing. I wish I could have these days all the time.
Right.
I came down over this. There was like a road jump, they called it. It's a big double, like a probably 55-foot double. Hit that.
So is it double where you get the option to land in the smaller one, but if you gun it, you can?
No, that's a triple.
Oh, a double's just 2 jumps.
Double's just the takeoff and then the landing. So I hit the double, and then it's a long downhill, and then it kind of went up, and you couldn't even see where you were launching into the.
Oh, because it was so steep.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It was like a big valley. You come up out of it, and I'm coming down this thing wide open in 4th gear, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm kind of going a little fast for this. Thought nothing of it. I knew I was going to overshoot it.
Which is better than under, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And it was a tabletop, so even if I undershot it, nothing bad would have happened. Anyways, I was feeling good. Hit this thing, and it kicked me just like that. I don't know what happened.
Oh, it kicked your ass up.
It kicked my ass end over my head.
Oh.
And I'm in the air thinking to myself, what do I do now?
Well, you're completely at the mercy of gravity.
I thought to myself, I'm like, I think I can ride this out. I look and I'm already far past the landing, and it was just kind of flat, and then another drop down, and I'm thinking to myself, I think I can ride this out. And I thought I wasn't quite over that balance point of going too far forward, so I stayed on the bike, and it initially just bitch whipped me into the ground, grabbed my legs, and just shit went everywhere. Knocked me out completely.
So you were out cold.
Out cold. Do not remember another thing for 7 days. And the next 6 days was the morphine drip they had me on.
Oh, wait a minute. You don't remember anything for a week?
Nope. So,
as a quick interjection, can I tell you that I watched, and it must have been at your discretion, I'm sure, because Logan's a good guy. I'm sure he was like, can I post this video? And you let him.
Yep.
Because I'm a sensitive bitch. I'm a French, grew up with women, empath. I fell apart watching that video. I never told you that. Fell apart.
With me on the ground?
Yeah.
Blood running out of my head?
Yeah.
Yep.
And hearing you say, like, it just over and over, it hurts. And they're like, I know, they're coming. I get choked up now, dude. Because it's so genuine. You can feel there's a tangible, like, weight to that clip. Because I know you. And I've never heard you tell me something hurts, even when you're in fucking pain.
Yeah.
And I've seen you eat it off some pretty crazy shit, man. Yeah. Snowboard jumps that other guys wouldn't even hit. And seen you eat shit, and you're like, oh, whatever. You're in pain, but you don't say it. It was tough. I even thought about last night producing this. I'm like, should I put that clip in? And I'm like, no, I don't know if it's in good taste or not. If they want to see it, they can probably find it.
Yeah, it's down on my Instagram.
Yeah.
You can see it on
and
there.
I do every intro when I say your name, I'll put your handle so people know where to find you and stuff, so they can look for it if they're curious. It's a tough watch.
I watched that video every day, I think, for the first 3 years.
Did you really?
Yep. Every single day.
Reminder,
as of like, I don't know why.
Was it a grounding thing? Like you're like, this is what happened and I'm here?
I think it was kind of, I wanted to remember what what happened, and I couldn't. So I was trying to watch it. So
Gotcha.
like, I wish I had. People think I'm crazy when I say this. I tell people all the time, I wish I had this whole thing on video, because I wish I could have.
I get that. You want to see where every element went wrong.
Yeah.
You want to see how you were treated by the ground. You know, I get it. It's morbid, but I get it.
So yeah, nothing in that video. I do not recall a single thing.
So do you think in your mind you're actually, in a way, happy for?
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Because imagine I'm not trying to pull at ties, but excruciating is probably not even the word.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I don't even remember feeling pain at that time. I don't remember anything. My buddy came down. They took a while to find me. My bike, it was like 90 feet away from me, they said, on the other side of the track.
Was it in shambles?
No, honestly. The thing wasn't even that wrecked. The radiator was wrecked, the bars were bent, and that's about it. I think the front wheel might have been bent and the brake rotor, but honestly, nothing crazy. So anyways, my buddies finally found me. I'm over in the tall grass, and they got to me, and I was like, they could hear me, like, I had the wind knocked out of me, of course. I was like having a hard time breathing.
Just communicating, yeah.
And I was still knocked out. So normal, our friend group, pull out your phone. He's knocked out. Get a video. Oh,
because they didn't know.
No.
Right. At the time, they're like, yeah.
Grab the phone. So they grabbed the phone, started videoing, just thought I was knocked out, whatever. And as that video clip ends, I didn't cut that or anything. He stopped the video. I think they realized something.
I was going to say, they probably at that time were like, okay.
And I guess I had said, how much did I have to drink? I thought I was passed out hammered in the field.
Oh, you were totally out of it.
Yeah.
You're in another
totally
place.
Out of it.
Yep.
Thought didn't even know I was on my bike, how I got my bike there. I was asking. I went to sit up. I guess this is what they told me. And I'm like, I can't. So I hit my leg, and I was like, oh my God, I can't feel my legs.
Are you serious? And you don't remember this, but they're telling you this.
Do not remember this. And that's when they called the ambulance.
Because they're like, holy shit.
Yeah. And I don't remember getting the ambulance.
So so this was in Vassalboro. So they brought you to Maine General.
Yep.
In Augusta.
In Augusta, and then got me in there, figured out what had happened. I fractured C2, C6 on my neck, broke T3, T4, T5, T6 in my back.
Broke?
So 2 vertebrae in my neck.
4 in your back.
4 in my back.
And in your lumbar?
No, nothing in the lower back.
So your official diagnosis was that so I've always been curious about the way paralysis works. Yeah. Is it because I was always under the impression it's from the highest point, but that can't be the case.
Nope.
Because you have full control of arms.
It depends where you damage your spinal cord.
Right. The vertebrae don't matter as much.
So T3 is where that is my initial injury level, T3, which is chest level down. So I have no control of ab muscles, no
from your
balance control,
pecs down.
Yep. You can pinch my nipple. I can only feel half of it.
So you tell your girlfriend they pinch hard.
Yeah, pinch hard.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not as short as I look, but you're on a proprietary. Now, that's like an air seat?
Yeah, it's filled with air, has a little air nozzle.
Just gives the right amount of support for.
Yeah, so this is a injury I just got done dealing with the past.
Oh, this is not
months.
From the initial.
No, so this cushion is. I had to get this.
Let me pull you back real quick. Sorry, because I'm jumping ahead, not you.
Yeah.
So you're at Maine General. They have you on a morphine drip for 6 days, but you don't even remember day 7, the first impact day.
No, Maine General. They found out what was wrong and life flighted me to Maine Med.
Holy shit! Because they were like, we're just not equipped.
I got life flighted. I had a hangman's fracture, C2 in my neck.
Oh right.
If I didn't have that neck brace on, probably would have killed me.
Oh, right. Back to that moment where like you literally were ditching half the equipment. You had that one moment of clarity.
Like, yeah, I'm just going to throw it on.
How weird is that?
Weird.
Does it actually spook you? Because I'm romantic. I like to think this crazy like connection and synchronicity. Do you ever think of like what compelled you to actually put that on? Or is it just love?
Yeah. My best friend that I grew up racing with, he always harped on me. He's like, Dudley.
Was it Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a neck brace.
Yeah.
He's like, you're getting to the speed now where you need a neck brace. I traded an old Woods Beater Geo tracker I had no money. I was spending it all racing every single weekend.
So you're like trading for every gear you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I agree. I need a neck brace. I can't afford. The things are like $400.
$400?
Yeah. And
Jesus.
I traded him this piece of crap Geo
just
tracker,
a woods beater.
Yeah. And traded him even for the neck brace, and best trade I ever made.
Yeah. I mean, that was worth $400.
Absolutely.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. I think of those things. I wonder how often other people do, where it's like, you very well could have just ditched that. I mean, you were ditching half your stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
And something came through my head, and I think it was him. He's like, I think you need a neck brace.
You ever thank him for that? Be like, Jordan, if you hadn't harped on me our whole growing up.
We still talk about it to this day.
I believe you do.
Every time he sees me, he's pretty much like,
you're
that
welcome.
was the best trade I ever made.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, me too.
You'll never make a better one.
And it was awesome. We had the tracker over at his house, and we just beat on that thing out.
Yeah.
So I got to use it just as much over there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's, man. So they life flight you to Portland.
Yep.
When do you gain consciousness? When are you now completely cognizant of everything going on?
6 days later.
6 days from your life flight?
From the life flight, I was down in main med for 6 days. I think they waited. I got down there late at Friday night.
Okay.
They waited the next morning to do the surgery. I don't remember anything.
Because they knew you were okay.
Yeah.
At least until then.
I was.
Right.
I was
going to say, I'd imagine they wouldn't put you on ice.
Right.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Like, just wait for him.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. This guy literally was like hung. Because C2, they call it the hangman's break because that is the one that breaks when they hang you.
Yep.
Jesus, man. And that was with a neck brace.
Yeah. That was with the neck brace.
See, I don't even know all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, God, man.
So I'm down there. People that tell me now say they came and visited me, and I was just sitting there. I was on an 8-minute timer for the morphine drip.
Okay.
I was just sitting there hitting the button like this.
Do you think it was like an anatomical or like a reactionary nerve thing, or do you think you were actually in pain even though you don't remember and you're like, give me...
I think I was just in pain.
Yeah.
A lot of pain.
Yeah.
And I can actually back that up. So 6 days go by. First thing I remember, I'm getting in the ambulance and headed down to Spalding Rehab Center.
This is, not to interrupt, but this is post-surgery now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Post-surgery, they went in and fused
what they could.
Yep. T3, 4, 5, 6.
Did they put
7.
any synthetics was anything or shattered bad enough so that they had to put in full?
No, I had no cages or anything. They put in a set of rods.
Yep.
And
just for support.
Yeah, support. And the vertebrae kind of broke, and it went. They explained to me after that when I broke my back, like the T3 bungeed way out, and then which not ruptured, but damaged the spinal cord.
Oh,
right
sure.
there.
Because you're losing the support in that whole column.
Yeah.
Right. It's just open.
And then the muscles bring it back, and it pretty much aligned the thing right back up.
Wow.
So they just put in the rods and screws, and
so successful surgery.
Yeah.
At least on their end.
Yep.
So now they're sending you back to Maine?
Nope, Boston.
Okay.
Spalding Rehab.
Oh, right,
Center.
of course.
Went down there, and I remember the ambulance ride down. I'm laying on like a stretcher. It felt like there was a hard board under me, and this is I'm just coming into like consciousness. I'm not. So on
this
any
is
more pain
actually
meds.
your first memory post accident right here.
Yep.
Not 7 days. At this point, right? You're talking like 10 days.
No, this was 6
from the surgery, though. But didn't you? Oh. You don't even remember anything till then.
Yeah, no. This was. So the surgeon.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
You were just a ghost.
Ghost.
It's amazing what your body. Well, we've both seen this with blacked out buddies, and maybe even ourselves. When you're just like you were kind of normal. Like I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, and I was up talking to my buddies. They would come and visit me after surgery,
and they said you were totally like you.
No, not quite.
Oh, I was gonna say a little robotic.
I was on the morphine.
Yeah.
And I was kind of loopy, and they could tell when that 8 minutes went up because my eyes would roll right back.
Oh yeah, but morphine's a hell of a drug. I hear. I don't know. Was it hard on them?
Very hard.
Not to bring it.
Yeah.
Not to be sensational, but I mean, for me, dude. Honestly, me personally. Even though we weren't even close at the time, I'm telling you it was difficult, and I could not. If I had gone and seen you, I'd have fell apart. Yeah. Dude. It's just because like I was always the big brother of the group. I was the oldest, and that's how I looked at you guys, and I'm like, yeah, there's some. I don't know. There's something tribal at that point. Like I just can't see. You know, if we were going to get in a fight as a group, I was always going to stand in front.
Yeah.
I'll take the hit.
Yeah.
That's what I did. It's just tough, man. It's tough. I'd imagine for guys that were close to you then, it was a nightmare.
They were like, I couldn't even hang out in the room and look at you because
they're helpless.
You didn't even look like you.
Yeah.
My eye was swollen up. I had stitches in my.
And I mean, you all are acutely aware that this is something that can happen with what you do, but you never think it's you.
Nope.
Not for a moment.
Absolutely not.
We're Supermen.
Yeah.
That we think that. I mean, and there's argument for that we are invincible till we die.
Exactly.
We are. I mean,
and I've crashed way harder than that, to be honest. It's
no shit.
All about how you land.
It's luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. In physiology, I mean, like Kelsey, my girlfriend, is in physical therapy, and you're talking about going to an outpatient clinic, it sounds like.
Yep.
And she said that, like, the importance of immediate outpatient care is night and day.
Yep.
Like it's very important.
Yep.
And So you go to this clinic, outpatient. So this is a facility set up specifically for post-surgery recovery.
Yep.
Okay.
There's different floors. You have like a floor for knee and ACL.
Right. You're on like acute floor, spinal, neck.
Spinal cord injury floor. Go there. I'm like coming to on the ambulance ride down. I look over and my mom's there, which is awesome. Good to see.
Yeah, of course.
Comforting. Get down there. They get me in there, and at that time it was later in the afternoon. They were just like, get some rest, you got a busy day tomorrow. Everything was, I get there, and the next day they're like, okay, you ready to sit up?
Next day?
I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, we gotta get you moving.
I actually want to interject, but she'd have to take my mic, because Kelsey, I didn't think of this, but this is what she does. Hey, Kels. You want to jump on mic real quick? I just want to ask you a couple things. I didn't even think of this. Well, I don't know why I didn't think of this. I'm totally not set up for it. We're talking about his immediate outpatient physical therapy after breaking his back. I tore down the rest of the studio to give him room and let him be comfy. Do you want to jump on mine or no? I guess so. I can have you. We're talking about what they did. So that he's saying, come over here, push this back. You can like kind of kneel in front of me. Just don't spill our vodka. That's our spirit juice, okay? Finney's like, I want to be in here. Can you come? Can you fit in here? I can try. Finny, over there. This is why when I have anyone act as producer on the show, they hate me.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just do what you planned.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. We get to do what we want when we own our own shit.
Better unplanned.
So I was telling him you worked a lot in outpatient therapy as part of your clinicals, right?
Well, and I did. That's all I was doing.
Oh, I need to get you a mic.
Oh, you won't be able to hear me?
Eli, can you grab that mic on the piano? There's a mic sitting. You can just yank it out of that.
I can have it.
Oh, can you get it? Sorry, guys, whoever's listening. I may edit this out, but probably not, because who cares? This is also the beauty of when not a lot of people listen yet, because they're like, they'll deal with my shenanigans.
Well, Rangeley, Daniel, that's all I did was outpatient work up in Rangeley.
Where is it? All right, here. No, just that mic, Kels. Oh. You can set that anywhere.
Okay.
Check. All right. You're not on headphones, but they'll be able to hear you. Okay. I just want you to kind of hear what he's saying and see if you have a take on it. You're going to have to get here if you want to be on cam, though. Okay, so he was saying the day after they do a full fusion surgery in Maine Med, Portland.
Yep.
And they ship you, did they life flight you at that point or just ambulance?
Nope, just ambulance down to Boston to Spalding Rehab Center.
So it's a specific outpatient center for rehabilitation. Okay. And he's saying that like he comes to after how many days?
6.
Post-surgery. No memory. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, get some rest because in the morning you're sitting up. Yeah, he has lost control of his body from his pecs down.
I'm not surprised by them.
Right into the mic.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that they had you do that.
Yeah, and that's.
I mean, you're probably
right into
like,
the mic.
What the fuck? Like, what? But I think probably because.
Right into the mic, Hill.
Sorry, I want to look at him while I'm talking to him.
There you go.
So probably also because you were really young, they were like, okay, like he is going to be able to handle this. Probably if you were older, maybe not. But yeah, physical therapy, they really push you.
No,
They
that's
really, really push
And is
you.
that good or bad? Like,
no, it's good because
It's good.
they said the 6 days that you've already spent laying down, you're pretty much losing.
oh, so even those 6 days, they're
Like,
like, this is already bad.
We need to get you up and moving. The more you're moving, the better. We know you're in a
Yeah.
lot of pain, and I was in so much. I couldn't even open my mouth to eat. I was like, "You guys are."
You were
sit me
in that
up?"
much pain?
My brother, I remember him the next day feeding me Domino's pizza, and it hurt to open my mouth because my neck muscles were engaging and where those vertebrae C2 and C6.
And you
are
don't
broke.
even think chewing, but you feel everything, man.
You don't think chewing, but those muscles in your neck, you're using muscles in your neck. But yeah, when they were like, "We're gonna sit you up," I'm like, "You kidding me? I can't even open my mouth."
Have you dealt with any outpatient surgery that bad?
So I've only
Straight into it.
I've only seen like one spinal cord injury. It was when I was in my clinicals. It was at Farmington. I did outpatient though, like finally working as a PTA up in Rangeley, and we never had any spinal cord injuries. We learn all about it and like how to work with those people. But yeah, I mean, physical therapy is pretty much like, yeah, we're gonna get you up, and we do that with spinal
Because you guys
cord,
realize, like,
total hips, total knees,
Right.
like we're like you. Especially where you were laying in bed for 6 days,
Yeah.
like you have to like get up and down.
Right.
That's not
Because
surprising.
time is like literally of the essence at this point.
Yeah, you lose so much just laying in bed all the time. Like it's crazy how much you can just decondition
Yeah.
in
quickly.
a matter of days.
Yeah, very quick.
I just realized, like,
Yeah.
a bigger podcast, if there was a budget and a production suite, we would probably have on a PT because it would be perfect to go with you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy God, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So that answers it. Sorry for like having you jump in.
It's okay.
You're the best. All right, we're gonna get back to the story.
Okay.
Big hand for little Kels over here. You're killing it. You're killing it. Yeah, you can just set that over there for me. You're the best. Whoa, as I break something. Kels, you're the best. Thanks for jumping in. Can you scoot this table toward us a little bit? Wait, maybe I can. I don't want to drop anything. There we go. Got it. Kels, you're the best. Thank you so much. No, it's fine. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted, because I wonder, I like to project a lot, and I'm like, yeah, I understand. Like, you got to get right on it because your body starts to condition itself to its predicament. But I don't really know that. And it's funny to see firsthand, not funny, but it's eye-opening to see firsthand, Kels talks about this stuff. And what's weird is I let her talk. It's like when your girlfriend or your fiance or your wife is kind of venting their day off, you just let them do it. That's your role.
Yeah.
You owe that to them. But you don't really sometimes take that data in and interpolate it all. And now it's funny, like hearing you, funny, I keep saying funny. It's not funny. It's eye-opening to hear you say this team in Boston. I mean, you're talking about, it had to have been one of the best.
Oh yeah.
I mean, New England has some of the best medical facilities. And these guys are like, listen, man, you got to move.
Yeah.
We got to get you moving. So what was your experience that next day?
Honestly, so that was the first time that I'd come to and kind of realize what had happened, because I didn't even know. I didn't know until.
Oh, I see. This is the funny thing. I'm missing the connection of dots here, because you don't know. We're talking, what was that from the accident? 10 days? Because it's 6 days from the surgery. But how quick did the surgery happen after the accident?
Oh, so the surgery was the day after.
Oh, okay. So 7 days total.
7 days total.
So for a solid week,
Yep.
you don't even know what happened.
No idea.
You're coming to realizing
Yep.
that you don't have control of your body from the pecs down. What was that like?
Honestly, it didn't even hit me, I don't think, until.
It's too big of a thing to chew.
Yeah. And it was a few months until it hit me. In rehab, I was focused on, I guess it did hit me a little bit in rehab, but even that next morning when they're like, you're going to sit up, I kind of knew what I was working with, and I knew I didn't have any control even to sit up or
so you were
anything.
prepared not to be shocked by it.
Yeah.
But it was still alien. It's nothing you can kind of attribute to. Like, you can't fully explain to me, I would assume, the physiological feeling of not having feeling. And it's funny, most people don't know somebody that's been through this close enough to get it, right? Because how do you know?
No.
So
exactly.
and I might be jumping ahead, but is there like a ghosting phenomena like I hear about? Like, does your body sometimes think, or your mind think you're moving a certain limb?
No, not for me. I get electric shocks.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Like
From your own body?
Yeah. If I try to move my toes or feet right now, it's just like electric shocks, and it's nerve pain. That's
right. It's like your nerve communicating, but it's not getting.
It's not.
Holy shit, man.
Because the spinal cord is injured.
Right.
But no. So the first day when they're like, you got to sit up. From that point on, I was like, all right. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and moan and groan about what's happened.
These are the pros. Yeah.
I'm gonna look at what can I do to get better, and what can I do to get myself up and moving and progress my life back to how I want it to
Some
be.
semblance of normalcy.
Yeah.
I have to ask, because this is something I am a big thinker on existentialism, outlook, struggle with mental health very openly.
Yep.
I don't know if you have any history with that, not since we've talked as adults.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, just childhood trauma and recent trauma and stuff. You start to, and again, I'm romantic minded, so that doesn't help. But I start to think, if I were in your shoes, would I? I guess I wonder, like, what breeds the outlook you have of this has happened, it is what it is. These are the pros. They know what they're doing. This is step one to living. That do you realize just how big that is? It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even being dramatic. I wonder if I was in those shoes, if I would just give up.
See, a lot of people say that, and I try to think back to before the accident, what I would think, because I didn't even know what paralyzed was, honestly.
Oh, really?
Until my accident.
Yeah.
I really didn't get a good understanding of what it was.
Just never experienced it. Never heard anyone talk. Yeah.
So I try to think back, and I ask myself the same question. But when you're in the situation yourself,
yeah,
I don't think, a lot of people say, I don't know how you do it. I would just give
So in
up.
your reality or your ideology, you think you'd be surprised how many, your will to live is huge.
It is, and I say that, but I mean, a lot of people aren't. I think the support system for me that I had
was crucial.
Was crucial,
Yeah.
and it makes me feel bad. A lot of people don't get to experience that, which sucks, because I always felt comfortable in rehab. I always had someone there. I was always laughing, smiling, making the best of it. And I think that came from the support that I had from family, friends, strangers. And I just...
See, you say it makes you feel bad. It makes me feel good, man. You're an enlightened dude to have had that, but realize other people don't.
Yeah.
Like, you're lucky. And that's cool. Like, most people that are in that position, they don't have to feel that way because they have it. But it's cool that you literally, here you are, at what a lot of people would call, and obviously no offense, not that you would take it, because it is what it is. People would call that their lowest moment.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a life rearranging event that most people don't ever have to experience. And here you are realizing you're so lucky, you're so privileged to have these people that care about you so deeply that you feel bad for people that don't. That's pretty righteous, man.
It was, I like to say, it was the best, worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, man. I get that. That makes sense.
This is a good saying that I always refer back to. Adversity isn't the end; it's a new beginning.
Yeah, and that's clearly how you took it. Very clearly.
It's taught me so much, and I think everything happens for a reason. And I think it happened to me. I don't, there's a reason. Everything does happen for a reason.
Yeah,
and whether or not maybe I still don't understand that reasoning today.
Right.
Which doesn't bother me, because I'm living life, and I love my life.
That's right.
And I have awesome people around me.
Yeah.
I'm doing tons of things.
No, you don't feel like you're missing out.
Nope.
Not at all.
Not one bit.
That's right. And that's amazing.
I've done some crazy shit since my accident.
And you wouldn't take it back.
Met some crazy people and that I would have never met, done some crazy things.
That's it. So let me push you forward, because I don't want to pull out on too many heartstrings here. So you start being rehabilitated, though I do think this is funny. I remember one time, because you're like me, we're dipshit jokesters. I remember one time you posted on Snapchat a fake video of you standing and touching the ceiling. And I see this kid's family at some trip I take back home, and I'm eating at some local restaurant, and I see his mom and stepdad, love them to death. They're the best. And I'm like, oh my God, I saw Brandon. He's doing good. I saw him like, and they're like, he's an asshole. He was kidding. And I was like, this dude, man, God damn it.
Yeah. So I got a standing frame through insurance, ended up paying for it. It's a pretty much exercise machine.
Oh, that's cool.
I transfer into it. I pump myself up. It gets me into standing position.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I had taken a picture of me touching the ceiling, and
I'm telling everyone I know, did you see Brandon sing? They're like, dude, you're gullible. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
But that's me. I'm like, he can do it if he puts his mind to it.
But no, rehab went amazing. I had one goal, and that was, if feeling and movement was going to come back to me, it was out of my hands.
Oh, right.
It was whether
your job is to do the rehab.
Whether or not if my body was going to heal the spinal cord, and
right.
So my job was either to push so that happened. So they had me on a lot of electrical stimulation down there, trying to get things moving again.
Sure.
Didn't happen. So I was focused on that, and two, being 100%. What's the word?
Like on board with their regimen kind of thing?
100% independent when I got home.
Oh. Huge, I'd imagine.
That was my goals.
Right. And that's a big one.
2 goals, yeah.
That's a big one because all these things we take for granted, these everydays, like I complain about being depressed in my bed in the morning. It's like, hey, dickhead, you can still swivel, stand up, go take a leak, and get up, you jackass. Like you take all that for granted.
Yeah.
And you do, man.
It is.
You do.
It's hard not to.
I'm telling you today, it's not that like it changed my life. I mean, I've known you forever, but knowing you're coming in to record this, thinking of what you have to deal with to do things normally. And again, you don't take it as a pity party because you're a good sport. Yeah. You have a good energy. I impart that and I go, what are you doing complaining about like the dumbest shit, man? And it's a good lesson. And I think, honestly, you have been such an inspiration. I think you know this to an extent to so many people. I mean, you've probably had people tell you that.
Yeah.
Because it is, dude. Like your outlook, your attitude in all of this is unreal. It's unreal.
Thank you.
It is, dude. It is. I mean, it's like, I hope I'd have an iota of that if something similar happened to me. And I'm not confident that I would. I mean, and that's something to work on. Yep. Because like you're saying, what is important at the end of the day? You want to be independent for yourself. You want to be able to live your life however you need to. Yep. Everybody wants a support system. And to recognize you have one is huge. And to have one is huge. It's a privilege. It's amazing.
It is.
And it's not, it's not outside of yourself. I mean, you have a lot of that support system because you're a good guy and you would do the same for them. To be aware of the things that you take for granted is huge. Most people aren't forced to have to do that.
Yep.
And you were, it's, there is a way to take your darkest moments and kind of flip them and be like, this is a huge thing.
Absolutely. If you break it down, which out of every situation situation that I come across, I always break it down, the negatives versus the positives. And if you do that, I guarantee you'll
be better off.
If you think about it, there is more positives that come from it. And even if you don't see them in the time, just wait a little while and you will see more positives.
Yep. I mean, and that is true. I think a lot of people forget that it is easy to play victim.
Yeah.
And it's easy to feel slighted by the universe, the world, God, whatever you're comfy with. It is because sometimes you dealt a shitty hand. I mean,
I like to laugh. I laugh about it now.
Yeah.
I've dealt with some crazy stuff since my accident.
I was going to say, it's cool to have the power to do that.
I just laugh and I'm like, oh yeah, you're trying to break me down?
Yeah, good luck.
Come get some.
That's right. You ain't going to win, buddy. That's it. Yeah. Cheers to that. This kid. So I remember I was going to say, before we move on to the recent injury, I was going to say, I looked back at Snowed, SNO''D, that we made for snowboarding. And I remember watching, like, this is how I knew you were always going to be way gnarlier than we were. Even Logan, who was like, I guess technically in terms of like, if we were playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, I guess technically his tricks would have gained him more points. But I watched that video, dude. We hit those jumps, like me and Logan and Ross even, and we're heavy in the air. We don't seem natural. The projection doesn't look finessed. Then you see this kid go, And it's like a video game. Like you're hitting the same jumps we are, but somehow you look aesthetic. Like you're flying, you're doing an indie or like a melon, I don't remember what it was. And it was like flawless and like finessed. And I think now I'm like, of course you did. This fucking guy. It's unreal. So anyway, let's push forward. So because I don't even know. What happened recently? What was the most recent? Because you just had a surgery.
Yeah.
2 months ago? No.
Well,
walk me through.
We can backtrack even further than that.
Okay, go for it. Yeah. It's at your mercy. We're not on any time. This can be as long as you want.
So I got out of rehab, got home.
Okay.
Did my thing. Kind of was at home, not sure where.
And you were staying with mom.
Yeah. Not sure where my life was going to go, what I was going to do.
You're kind of taking it day by day.
Day by day. I still live to this theory. I don't take things day by day, not even hour by hour. I'm to the minute.
You got to be.
I live in the moment.
That's right.
And I genuinely like.
Do you feel like it's actually beneficial to do that too?
Absolutely.
100%?
100%. Absolutely. There is some things where you have to plan and,
of course,
and obviously, trips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I genuinely live in the moment, and I don't think about, it gets me in trouble sometimes. I don't think about what's going to happen if I do this or that. Or,
sure.
Obviously, to a certain extent, there's some things where you're obviously
inevitably
like, okay,
there's going to be
a good idea.
Yeah.
But
generally, in an outlook, sort of to speak, minute by minute's kind of the move.
It is, and I'm the biggest go with the flow. I'm down for anything. I have buddies that hit me up. Hey, let's go hiking. And they already know, obviously.
Let's go hiking?
Yeah, they're like...
And you go? You're like, I try.
No, it's kind of like they're offering to bring me, but I don't like feeling like I'm
imposing
someone's burden.
Right.
So I'm like, no, I'm not going to have you carry me up a half a mile hill to check out the view. I don't want that. You just go without me. But
dude, but I'm such a champion of you. I'm like, you should, man.
Yeah, no,
see that view.
That goes back to just a support system around me. That's
these because the bottom line is this: it's not that you didn't take the hike; it's that these fucking guys will carry you up that mountain.
They'll do anything,
figuratively and literally.
Any adventure my crazy adventures that I come up with, they're like, let's do it.
That's amazing.
Why'd you even ask?
That's amazing. It's amazing. It's heartwarming.
Yeah,
and it's cool for guys like me and people that are like me that feel like they don't have that at times because it exists and it is attainable.
It does, yeah,
and that's amazing,
absolutely.
man.
But
so yeah, you're post recovery. You're at Terry's place. You're his mom's place, and you're taking it minute by minute. You're trying to figure out, where am I? What am I doing?
Yeah.
How do I get back to my life?
Yeah, hanging out. Still recovering. My neck was still wicked sore at the time.
How was Terry and Dick about that? Amazing.
So
godsend.
And my sister was awesome.
Caitlin,
living there too. Amazing.
Oh right, because at the time, right? Yeah, I'm forgetting timelines here.
My dad. His girlfriend was amazing.
Yeah, that's right.
I would go up to his house and stay up there.
And they were just amazing.
Couldn't ask better.
That's right.
I was in bed, serious neck pain. I could, even when I got home, I was still in some serious neck pain.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And some days it would hurt so bad. I just to get out of bed, so that they would.
I have a question for you, not to bring it down to a very somber tone, but obviously and grew up with, at least my mother. Not so much my dad, but she had passed from a dependency of barbiturates pharmaceutical and then had extended to, obviously, the illicit versions, the illegal versions. I'm always curious of course, you must have been on painkillers. You must have had to have been.
Nope. I meant to bring this up.
Are you shitting me?
When I got to rehab, I looked they gave them to me. I said, I don't want them.
Are you kidding?
Nope.
Dude.
I did not take a one.
And that might be in bad taste, but let me tell you, as someone who has dealt with all of the ramifications of that life, not personally, but the back end, that is a unbelievably noble stance. And it's tough, man, because when you're in pain, it is so easy.
It is.
To be like, help me. I'm dying here. Yeah. That's amazing. So you never did?
Never did.
So you fought with that?
I wanted to. I wanted to feel the pain.
See, your level of bravery is like, it's admirable. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't get it. It's alien to me. I'm sitting here and I'm like, I pride myself on my lexicon. I'm like, I'm a wordsmith. What can I say to this kid? And I'm literally, I don't know what to say. Because I feel an intense amount of humility about it. Like I honestly, genuinely vulnerably don't think I'd have that attitude.
No, you shouldn't feel.
I do though, because I'm like,
humiliated about
God, that is fucking crazy. And it's dude, it's huge. I'm sure you know. Everyone tells you like that's insane. So you're bouncing between mom and dad's. You are feeling better. You know, a couple months in, your pain's starting to chill.
Yep, starting to chill down.
Okay.
I'm back and forth to the doctors, still waiting on the restrictions to get lifted.
Oh, right, because you're going in stages.
Yep.
Like here we are in state. What? Yeah.
The first step, my goal at that point was to get driving again.
Oh, sure.
So I had my Wrangler that I drove here. That was my only vehicle.
Dude, I got to say for the audience and whoever's listening, you come out of that like a boss.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there and I feel, because, you know, of course, there's that, like, we haven't hung out in a while and I'm like, I want to help this kid. Like, I don't want to, I can put it together. And you're like, bro, got it.
Yeah.
And it's like, bam, 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 like a transformer, you're done and you're cranking. You're faster than me.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Anyway, so that was your number one. I need to be self-sufficient.
Yep.
I got to be able to drive places, got to go to work, got to go see friends, got to live.
Yep.
So how big of a hurdle was that?
That was pretty big. I all I wanted to do was drive to get out of the house and do stuff.
Well, you're like a prisoner at that point in some ways.
Yeah. So I had to wait for the restrictions to get lifted.
By the doctor.
By the doctor.
Gotcha.
Time kind of flew.
Yep.
Restrictions got lifted. I think 3 or 4 months they allowed me to drive into it.
Okay.
And that 3 or 4 months, I had buddies come over to the house almost every day. Jordan.
Oh,
was
yeah.
a big one.
I'm sure he was like right there.
A bunch of other buddies hanging out. We would take my pickup truck out on the road, burn the tires off. He'd be like, want to drive? And I didn't know at the time. I'm like, how? He's like, I saw the golf clubs in the garage, grab them things and you can put one on the brake and one on the gas. So I'm out on the road burning rubber I'm still in the small neck brace, burning the tire. I have videos.
Of course you are.
Burning the tires off.
You should send it and I'll stitch it in as a PIP.
Funny.
We got it. That's awesome.
There's a video of me. I'm sitting in there and I'm like with the golf
balls
clubs
on this guy. I'm telling you.
So we did that stuff. It
was no big deal.
It made the time just fly by. And those
Jordan's a good shit.
Yeah,
man.
he is.
And I'm sure you know that. I mean, it's the Trues also, by the way, because I know obviously Cindy and them from just music, because they've followed me close and have supported me close. There's not people like them. There isn't. No. I mean, they're one in a million. That family is unreal.
Another story, where I'm headed. That's how I got into adaptive riding. Racing,
through them.
The Trues.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right, so we have to get to this because this is the X-Games stuff. So if we were to summarize the era of time between here you are trying to get on your own feet and be independent to you make the conscious decision to I'm gonna ride again. Whatever that means, I'm riding. How long was that?
I didn't make that decision.
Oh, so that was the Trues.
That was the Trues.
They knew you wanted to.
See, in the back of my mind, I that wasn't even in my mind.
That's crazy.
I did not have a single ounce in me that wanted to get back on a dirt. And I wasn't out to get dirt bikes.
Okay.
At this point, so I got back to driving, doing whatever, going to the races still
in it. You're watching people, you're supporting friends.
The motocross community is amazing.
Ugh.
Those guys,
they had your back.
They helped me
in every way
so much through everything, financially, everything. All the tracks came together. Many ways was, still in the motocross community.
Oh, of course.
Going to every race, hanging out with the kids. The kids loved to see it, which was awesome.
I wanted to ask you quickly about this because I feel like you're such an inspiration in terms of your spirit and your attitude. Do you think, and I could be wrong, I'm just wondering, do you think if there was one element of your spirit that might have been not misguided, but maybe not, I don't know, holistic's not the right word, but maybe you weren't upfront about with yourself, was the motocross thing? Do you think like that might have been like your crux? Like, I don't really want to get back on, like, because I imagine there's that, even like skateboarding when we would skate and I would do stair sets and gaps, and Eli, he's here. I mean, he's done them. You take a hard fall on that and you're not even permanently injured and you're like, bro, I'm not doing that again. So was there an element of that where it's like, I don't want to get back on the bull and ride? I mean, my life has been rearranged by it. Was there that for you?
No, not really.
Dude, you're wild.
See, I
don't get it.
That wasn't in my mind because when I set a goal.
So it's not that you didn't want to ride, it's that you didn't see how to.
Right.
That's fucking insane, man.
And then
Excuse my language.
Yeah, that never crossed my mind, and I just didn't. And I didn't even know, honestly, at that point, adaptive riding was a thing.
Oh, you had never even looked it
And
up.
adaptive riding is a huge sport.
Well, I found out through
Yeah,
you. I had no idea.
It is a huge sport.
It's huge. I mean, it's in the X-Games.
It's competitive as fuck.
Oh, and they're good.
And they're good.
And what's funny is, like, not to fast forward, but I thought you had that race because I watched a highlight. And I feel like it was your race for a good amount. And that, are you going to do it again? We're jumping ahead too much.
No, I'll get to why I'm not going back out there.
Yeah. Tell me to shut up.
So, to summarize.
Also, by the way, I know you are on a total different regimen than I am. If I need to pause this for any reason, if you want to go relieve, I can do it. Don't be shy. Because we can always cut it out, too.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Okay.
They won't even know.
Perfect.
All right.
I'm good
Okay.
right now.
You let me know.
Yeah. So, to summarize quick, because I could go on 4 or 5 hours about all these stories and shit. And
you're the boss. This is your podcast. I'm just listening and interjecting my ignorance where I can.
I feel like the past 6 years, the stuff I've done is more stuff than
like more fulfilling
than
the 20 years
someone
before.
lives in a 60, 70-year-old life.
Dude, Brandon, what gave you that mindset? I'm endlessly inquisitive about why you think like that. We weren't really raised like that. I don't get that.
I honestly think a lot of it was growing up. I didn't have the best of the best equipment.
No, of course not, right?
You know, a lot of people don't.
Of course.
My parents, they got me everything I needed and wanted.
Yeah. They supported you 100%.
But there was like racing dirt bikes. I didn't have the nicest bike. I had honestly people looking at like, look at this clapped out thing, this kid out here.
Oh yeah, some of these privileged kids, man.
And then I'd go out and smoke them.
It's called talent.
Clapped out thing, but
yeah.
I grew up having to deal with.
So you almost feel stronger by your deficits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good lesson to take too.
I grew up having, to work with what I had, and I appreciated what I had because I did the work on it. When I blew the motor, that's coming out of my pocket.
That's right. You knew the weight of your decisions and what you did.
I rebuilt it. I knew exactly what I had, and then when I jumped into something newer, I was just that much better. So I feel like in a way I can reference that back to, I don't know exactly how I want to explain.
And I don't mean to interject, but I know Terry and Dick so well because I grew up around them that one thing as we were younger, it seemed like a kind of a pain to deal with in terms of I was the older kid, even when I wasn't really, because the funny thing was I was never a bad influence. Like I never was trying to get you guys hammered or have you smoke. Like I was like the friend that didn't do that.
No, not
but
at
parents
all.
don't know that.
Exactly.
I'm the older guy.
No, exactly.
So the funny thing though is, what's weird is, and I bet Logan wouldn't think this unless I told him, I always had so much respect for your parents because I saw the flip side. My parents didn't give a shit.
Yep.
Like your parents and you guys were at the time were probably annoyed by it, but like the fact that they had that level of care about what you were being exposed to, what you were experiencing, I think what we're talking about now is a good show for what that bred in your spirits. Yeah. You guys have this closeness between you and Logan that is so admirable. This like, you see it in movies and people think it's fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't seem attainable, but you guys really do have that. You do. Dude, it's amazing.
And my accident kind of brought that out.
Yeah.
We had it before. We were always close, but
that was like, you guys are hand in hand.
He was feeding me pizza when I can't even barely open my mouth.
It's insane. It's insane.
He knows everything and anything. He's the most comfortable and knows what's going on with my chair going upstairs. I get myself in some crazy shit, and he's just like, we'll go here. Like he already knows. I know how to get out of it. Yeah, and he knows. Some other people will be like, let's do it this way. I'm like, I already know what works.
Yeah, bro. Right. He trusts you. Yeah, and you trust him. Yeah, and that's huge. Yeah. So the Trues start to lobby you about, hey, Brandon, we can get you back on a bike.
No.
Oh.
This story isn't like incredible.
Oh shit. Okay. I'm ready.
So I'm back driving, doing my own thing, jeeping my summers away.
Yep.
I get back in.
Who was fabricating your hand, or they just sell those?
So a good friend of mine, Kurt Phillips, helped me.
Okay.
My Jeep was a standard. He helped me convert that to an automatic.
Oh, so they pull out the.
I didn't want to get rid of it. They pulled out the transmission.
Yep.
We had to put a whole new ECU, a bunch of wiring,
Sure,
a whole bunch of shit that.
And these guys all helped you.
All helped me. I was right there helping them
as much as you could. Yeah,
I like working on.
Of course you do.
On stuff.
That's your thing.
I like being there doing it, and yeah, they helped me out and got me back into my Jeep. There's hand controls that were donated to me.
Amazing.
So I threw them in the Jeep.
Do you know by who? I could shout them. Or a bunch of people chipped in. Yeah.
Sid Savage, he passed away, unfortunately, and his family.
Shout out to the Savages. That's awesome, man.
Someone had bought their truck, and they reached out to me.
That's awesome.
And we're like, hey, could you use these?
That's amazing.
And
you're like, of course.
Yeah. So we threw them in there, and was good to go. So anyways, the next summer was it the next summer
or two?
I think it was 2016. We were at the Trues wanted to bring me down to the pro motocross race in Southwick, Massachusetts. Always been a race that I've been fond about.
And you hadn't been.
The pros come up.
And these are the big dudes.
Big dudes.
Okay.
Best in the world.
Okay.
So I'm like, hell yeah, let's go down, watch these guys. So we're down there hanging out, and I'm in a chair now. I'm bombing around. They're like, hey, Doug Henry over here, which is
I know that name.
He's a pro motocross champion, has won 3 AMA.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I've heard of him.
Titles.
Would he be on that? Sometimes we play like a monster motocross PS5. Is he must be on that.
I don't know. Geez, it's hard to say.
I'd have to look. Yeah. But anyway, he's a big name. Champion.
Big name. And he was big back in like 90s to early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
He's older at this point.
Gotcha.
Real good friend of mine now.
No shit.
Yeah.
So he had heard about the incident.
So we're down Southwick hanging out.
Oh, here we go.
And the Trues are like, hey, Doug reached out to me and wants to meet you. So I was like,
are you freaking out?
I'm freaking out. Doug's a huge name, has a lot of resources, So I'm hanging out with Doug at this point. Doug's like, hey, want to go up to the podium and watch the race? I'm like, hell yeah.
You're like, yeah.
I'm like, I just pretty much got VIP passes. I'm hanging out with Doug Henry.
Dude.
And living the life. I'm up here hanging out on the podium. It's the opening ceremonies for the Pro National. All the guys are out on the track.
And they make it a big deal, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they sing the national anthem, get that over with, and I'm sitting there, and this dirt bike rolls up in front of me, and I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing blocking my view?
No.
Well, next thing I know, this announcer comes up, and here's Brandon Dudley.
No, dude.
The Trues all went in. There was a lot of other people too, but mostly Matt and Lisa True, which pretty much the whole True family is like second.
I know Matt and
family
Lisa
to mine.
from music too. That's right. These guys fabricate you a bike and present it at a pro race.
Well, at this point, it was not fabricated. It was just a brand new dirt bike. Already had the graphics on it. I look back at the number plate. It says 159,
which is your number,
Dudley, and I'm like, no way.
Did you fall apart?
I didn't know what to say. And then
what do you do?
I have the announcer. He's like, "What do you think of this?" Jamming it in my face. I'm like,
You're like, I don't know what to say.
I don't even know.
What the hell, man?
I had no. So they presented me this bike, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna get this thing fabricated for you. Anything that could go into this project, we got it covered.
Oh, so the racetrack, the committee backed it.
No, this was Matt.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
This was Matt and Lisa saying, everything that's going to go into this project,
we'll cover it.
We'll cover it. So Howie's welding.
Yep.
Right, and Jay did all the fabrication work, fabbed the cage up. I got into adaptive riding.
So you're freaking out. You're realizing like, oh, I'm getting back on.
Yeah, and it didn't even cross my mind till then. And crazy thing is, my parents didn't even know this was happening.
Oh, because they weren't there.
They weren't there, and I had talked to Matt and Lisa kind of a couple years down the road. I'm like, did you? And my mom had no idea, and he's like, no, honestly, I was scared to tell her.
Oh, you're right.
Tell them.
Right.
Like I didn't.
Well, that's mom and dad's job.
Yeah.
They're like, don't you protect your son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
But they saw what came about, and they're wicked supportive over the whole thing. And obviously
amazing.
at first they were like, you're crazy.
Right.
You ain't getting back on that thing.
Why further,
Right.
or potentially
Potentially.
further.
Oh,
Come on.
absolutely.
So so you ride this thing, you get it fabricated.
Yep.
You ride this thing, you start practicing, and when do you start to realize like, oh, I'm fast? Aside of my predicament, I'm killing it.
I honestly never felt like I was killing it. I felt honestly like the thing had a restriction on it because I couldn't ride it how I used to ride it.
Right, because your mind, your catalog is vast.
So I'm like, I'm sitting down. I don't even dare to hit this 60-foot jump because if I come up short or overshoot it,
your body can't compensate.
Kill me.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Kill my back.
Right.
It's going to blow me off the side of the track.
So how do you mitigate that?
It's very, very hard.
I believe it.
That's why I broke my back 2 more times racing adaptive racing.
I was going to say, I remember one time, I didn't know you did it twice, but I did remember seeing it once, and in my head, and I'm an ambitious guy, as we know, and in my head, I'm like, okay, at some point you got to call it quits. I'm like, this kid, I don't want to see him hurt more, even me. And I'm the kind of kid that's like, fuck yeah, adaptive, let's go.
Yep.
But I'm like, God, what can you do at this point? And there's something to be said, like I always bring up the Howard Schultz analogy of the guy that started Starbucks. He was turned down by over 200 banks. Now, a guy like me doesn't have it, dude. I'm telling you, if 100 banks turn me down, I'm like, okay, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
A guy like you might go the 240 and be like, it's a good idea. I don't care what the banks say. And you'd make Starbucks. Yeah. So it's funny. I see this, and this is exactly this paradigm shift that like the people like that are listening or watching need to take. Because it's like, we have this privilege we live in of not having experienced what you have. And honestly, I don't even know if it's a privilege. I think you might have the privilege. And this is weird to say, and it sounds morbid, but the perspective that you gain from something this life-changing, would you agree that it's monumental? That it's just like completely life-altering?
It is, absolutely. And before my accident, I could have never imagined.
And you wouldn't wish it on anybody.
No, absolutely not.
But do you feel personally like your life actually blossomed from?
Absolutely.
That's crazy to me. Dude, I need a drink.
Yep.
I need a new drink.
No, me too.
Okay, we're making a new one.
Yep.
Do you need a break? You good?
I'm good.
Okay, good. I'm good too. I'm good.
Yep.
Okay, while we talk, we're going to pour another one. You want cranberry? We're switching out?
Yeah, I'll have cranberry.
Sweet, sweet. Okay, so I wanted to ask, you start this adaptive racing.
Yes.
Are the two are the two back brake incidents heavy enough to go into? Are those things you want to expound on?
Absolutely.
Go for it. So what was the first one that happened?
So, I'll get into how the X Games happened because kind of the back brakes have to do with training X Games. So I'm down riding with Doug Henry at this point, adaptive riding, which is huge.
Oh, so Doug actually stayed in your life.
Oh yeah, me and Doug are good friends.
That's amazing.
Good friends. Doug, he's amazing. Good mentor.
Yeah.
I
sounds like
everything from him.
I was going to say, sounds like an amazing influence.
He's been adaptive riding for 12, 13 years now.
Doug's paralyzed.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. So Doug became paralyzed. Doug, if you're seeing this, don't quote me. I want to say back in 2007 or 8.
Hey, when we get our Ignite vodka, we should do a trio.
Yeah.
Where does he live?
Connecticut.
We should go to him.
Yeah.
Dude, you can come with us.
He would love that.
Dude.
I've been in his house.
Doug, me and my girlfriend are bringing Brandon. We're going to bring you. You're going to hang with us.
Yeah, we're coming
We're
down.
coming, baby. We're coming. Round 2, when we get Dan's vodka in, what are we doing? Anyway, continue.
Doug's awesome. Blast to be around. So we're down there riding at a sand track in New Hampshire, and we kind of get done riding, had a good day. I ended up wadding up hard, snapping the cage.
So what does that mean?
Pretty much crashing. Biggest crash I've ever. Wadding up is like a
industry term.
Pretty much dirt sample. You eat dirt for lunch or dinner.
Oh, you're smashing ground.
Yeah. I smashed.
And
ground.
the cage at that point doesn't even matter.
No, I broke the cage, broke the subframe on my bike. Pretty much done riding for the day. Exhaust pipe was bent, wrapped right around the thing. I went over this. I don't know why I tried to do it. There's like a set of rollers I don't even know why I tried to double in. It was wicked muddy. I tried to double in, got sideways, and it just friggin' bitch whipped me, slapped me into the ground.
So you're eating dirt hard.
And I'm strapped into this bike. There's no getting away from it. Before you could bail, do whatever. But towards the end of the ride, me and Doug got talking about X Games and how they were gonna now get into adaptive snow bike cross in the X Games.
Oh, because that's what you did.
Yeah,
I forget about this. It was
Yeah.
Winter X Games.
it was winter.
That's
X Games.
right, dude. Okay, and is the theory that with, spinal injury, snow is more forgiving, or is that just not the case? It's just a sport.
No, it's just kind of just a sport. Because they used to do adaptive snow cross in the X Games.
Sorry, I'm getting you ice in a bigger cup because
Oh,
that is a ruthless drink.
So they used to do adaptive snow cross, which is snowmobile racing in the X Games,
Okay.
and they got rid of that.
Oh, okay.
They
So you didn't really have a choice. Like you have to do the
You
winter.
have to do the snow bike cross now because snow bikes are up and coming thing. It's a motocross bike
with
a track
tracks.
with a track on the back and a ski on the front.
Dude, I want to ride that.
It's
Just for
awesome.
fun.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
it sounds dope.
So Doug's telling me about this, and I'm like, there's no way that I can do this. He's talking about doing it this winter. They're going to kind of do an event.
And when was this when he was telling you, like spring or something?
Nope, fall.
Fall? And he's talking about that winter?
October, that winter. So anyways, I'm like, I leave, and I'm like, there's no way I can do that. I need a 450. I have a 250 dirt bike.
Now, why do they just require it?
Nope. The track that you put on the back, you lose a bunch of power.
Oh, so you need the extra.
So you need
oomph.
the extra.
Gotcha.
Oomph. So I was like, there's no way that's possible. Even if I wanted to do it,
Right.
I was like, in the back of my mind, I've always wanted to do at that point, adaptive snow cross in the X Games. I grew up riding snowmobiles.
Sure. Right.
Race dirt bikes, which the two kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, but you were bombing sleds too. I remember this.
I'm sure I could race the shit out of a
Oh,
snowmobile,
yeah.
like a dirt bike.
Yeah.
So,
And it must help, not to interject, but it must help because I would imagine a track, even though it's not a snowmobile track, is still a little more supportive on the x-axis of balance.
yeah, I could come right to a stop and not have to lean against anything.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So anyways, I'm like, there's no way in hell that I'm going to be able to do this, get together before the winter and get a whole new bike, a whole new cage fabricated. No way.
Right.
So
everyone pulls together.
So it's now December. I know X Games is coming up first or second weekend of January.
Okay.
It's December 1st.
Am I jumping ahead or should I ask you how you qualify to get in? Or
No.
jumping ahead? Okay, continue. Sorry.
So-
Just want to make sure it's clear because I know you know all this stuff and I'm like an idiot. I don't know any of it.
So I knew this event was coming into the X Games.
Okay.
And I wanted...
Kels, can you just dump that in that over the sink? I made that rugged. Dump some out. I'm going to add some cranberry. Sorry, Brandon. Yeah, well, there's no ice, and I put the same amount. This guy's a booze hound. So she'll get it. So thanks, Kels. So you realize you're talking about a short trajectory. Like this is coming up.
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming up. I didn't plan on going. 2018 was the year.
Okay.
I had no plans on going. I found out who the X Games director was.
Okay.
And I added him on Facebook so he could see what I was doing.
Nice. Very smart.
For the next year that was coming up.
Sure.
And 2 days later, he sends me a message.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I love what you're doing. I see what you're doing. We're doing this event at X Games.
Dude.
Adaptive snow bike cross. And at that point, I was like, how can I say no?
You can't.
I'm going to do whatever I can.
That's right. Even if you don't win. Right. You got to do it.
Well, I wasn't even at that point of winning.
Yeah, right.
I was at the point of getting enough together to be able to go.
Well, I was going to say, dude, the X Games. That's a pinnacle.
So
it's huge.
I cranked out a resume that night. I was like, count me in. That's all I said.
Right.
I was like, I'm going to do what I have to do
to
get this done. I went and all these amazing supporters, sponsors came on board, got me this 450 brand new KTM. Matt and Lisa were a huge
KTMs are so dope.
Helping that. My good friend Jake Kilbreth, he actually built a track for me back when I was racing.
To just condition.
Just
I remember you and I playing
training,
MX
yeah.
First ATV Unleashed too.
Yeah.
KTM was our jam.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're practicing your ass off.
Yeah.
You're getting used to this bike.
Yeah.
You broke your back the second time then?
No. So
Okay.
I got everything together in 1 month. I grinded, got a bike. F3 Manufacturing, the company I work for now, built the cage.
Oh, you work for them?
Yeah.
Nice. Shout out to F3.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They actually got bought out. It's called the Shift Group now. But
Where are
it's,
they out of?
Waterville.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
So they're big supporters.
Yeah. Big
Shout out to them.
supporters.
Shift Group.
Yeah, the Shift Group.
Shout
now.
out to the Shift Group.
Billy Cleaves. He's the one that made it all happen.
Good dude.
Built this cage on my bike. This all happened within a month.
Give one. Is Eli still here? Give one to him. Give the little guy to him. That's going to be aggressively strong. Nah, whatever. It's all for the guest. Brandon's the king, okay?
Thank you.
He gets what he wants.
So anyways, they get this cage all fabricated, and this is all within a month. So I had to round up the sponsors to back me to go to. I could not afford this.
So what was the total? Do we know? Like the cost to get out there and stuff?
25 grand.
Really? Because you got to get all the equipment.
The new bike, the timber
right.
sled behind it.
That's right.
I had kind of I say kind of, he was like a team manager that year, Mike Tufts. He helped me
Why
out.
do I know that name? Mike Tufts.
Right. He lives up in Kingfield.
Oh, okay. I must have
yeah.
heard him in passing. Sure.
Wicked good dude. But
So he was like crew chief,
he
so
helped,
to speak.
he helped me out. He was like handing flyers out in Kingfield, my resume
That's
flyers.
awesome.
Helping me out. We were going to New Hampshire to get my snow bike kit.
Sure.
Jake went down, grabbed my bike. We got the cage fabricated. I rode the bike one time, put it in the trailer, and off to Colorado we went.
That's amazing.
Went out there, finished second. And
Now, hold on. A qualifier?
nope, we didn't have to qualify for this because
you got a shoe in.
it was the first year event, and they were just trying to round up.
Oh, because
enough
they
people
needed
to go.
riders. Gotcha.
So I didn't have to qualify, luckily, for the first year. So I kind of got in.
So wait, you got in second, meaning silver, and this was an X Games.
Yep.
So you got your first medal.
That year was a what do you call it?
Like a non-commissioned race?
Yes.
Oh.
I didn't realize that. So after
Were you fucking super bummed?
Yeah, because I was like, I just got a silver medal. I'm like,
Dude.
I can't wait to bring this
I
thing home.
have a deep, because I feel like we're close enough and I know you well enough, I have a deep philosophical question about this to ask, but I'm going to wait.
Okay.
I'm going to wait. I want to hear the triumph.
All right.
And then, because I feel like to minds like mine, and I know there's people out there because I've gotten feedback. It hasn't been viewed by a lot of people, but the people that have watched it, I've got a lot of good feedback on. It's nice to feel that the inquisitive, introspective minds aren't alone. It's nice to hear some of this stuff answered because no one feels comfortable enough to ask some questions.
Yeah.
This one's, you'll dig it, but I'm going to wait. I want to hear the triumph first.
All right.
Okay, so you come in second, you're bummed because you're like, dude, that's a silver. But it's not sanctioned.
I'm like, what? No.
And
no
you're
X
freaking
Games
out,
medal?
dude.
I'm like, honestly, the first thing that came to mind, I'm like, I can't even bring this thing home. I just got so many sponsors to back me up. I'm like,
Well, yeah,
I want to bring the medal home to them.
of course.
And
These guys have put in everything.
anyways, it didn't happen, and I was finally came to terms that I was okay with that because
Sure.
I knew that it just opened up a huge door for me
Of course.
to perform on that platform.
So you must be coming off a high like, dude, nothing's really changed.
Yeah.
I can compete. I
Yeah.
can compete at an elite level.
Yeah.
That's
And
amazing.
It is elite because
Of course it is.
this adaptive, those guys are no joke.
Well, here's the other part that I bet you wouldn't admit because you're too humble. It's probably even harder. You don't have 4 limbs, bro.
Yeah.
You're managing body weight off 2 limbs that
No.
you're also driving and steering with. That's gnarly, dude.
It is very
You got to
hard.
give yourself credit, man. That's
It is very
crazy.
hard. So I get back home, everything is good.
Yeah.
Automatically, because I placed second, I'm in for next year.
Oh, right. That's like an instant qualification. You're
There
there.
is a qualifier next year because now
Now
the
it's
adaptive
growing.
guys are like, I
Yeah.
want this thing.
Okay. So
So
you're in.
I'm in. I'm good to go. Get to training. At least I didn't need as much money this time around because I had the bike, the cage, the whole works ready to go.
Sure.
Sponsors built me a track with their groomer.
They build you a track.
Yep. Justin Jordan and Jake.
Dude, you're a pro.
They
You're feeling on top of the world.
Yeah, they built me a track to train on. I'm out training. Week before I'm supposed to leave for X Games, had plane tickets. I wasn't driving out this year. I drove out the first year.
Oh, okay.
We drove straight.
It's Colorado?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
40 hours straight with a race trailer, no stops.
Jesus Christ.
So I was like, I'm
So
not
you're
doing
flying.
that again.
Yeah, that's a heavy toll.
I had plane tickets all picked out.
And
Week before
That's right.
training, came up short.
I remember this one.
Came up short on this jump. Didn't feel right. Felt like I had to puke, and I'm just like, I shouldn't have ate that buffalo chicken wrap.
Yeah, I was
went
about
out.
to ask you, to not to interrupt, but and again, if this is like rude, not that you would tell me, but tell me for other people, because I was wondering, if you don't feel it, right, if you don't have that connection, how do you know?
I didn't know.
Jesus.
So I rattled my brain
okay.
pretty hard. Like
You hit.
I saw stars.
Okay.
And
Your
my buddy-
borderline got knocked out.
Yeah. And my buddy's like, come on, get out there, do 2 more laps. And I'm like, all right. And before I was bouncing around, I felt fine. My head was I had a slight headache.
God.
Got back out there. Every single bump I hit or anything, I'm like, man, I gotta puke.
Oh, so okay. That's when you knew something's not right.
So I thought it was muscle damage. got home that night, crawled in bed and felt my back, and there was like a huge lump back there.
Ooh.
I'm like, yep, going to the hospital.
Lumps.
Yeah.
Fluid?
No, down in the lower back. So I went to the hospital. They did CAT scans, x-rays, came back. They're like, yep, just muscle damage. Sent me home. The next day, which was a Sunday, I woke up and I'm like, something is seriously wrong.
It was just this off feeling.
Laying down felt fine. Sitting up, it was like instant goosebumps, and that's symptoms
of a nerve,
of something happening where I can't feel.
Sure.
They call it autonomic dysreflexia.
Okay.
Is the term they use. And I felt lightheaded, kind of funky. So I waited till Monday morning, called out of work.
Okay.
Called my doctor. They're like, yeah, go right down to main med, get a second opinion. So I went down there. They took x-rays.
Thank God.
I spent 7 hours down there.
Sure.
They came back and they're like, yeah, you have an intestine blockage.
Ooh.
I'm like,
which can be very serious.
I'm like, okay. So they ended up sending me home.
Are they drunk?
They took x-rays.
Are they drinking Cold River and cranberry? What are they doing?
They very well could have been. They had to clearly, I don't know if they missed it, whatever. They took x-rays because I showed them the lump I was feeling in my back.
And they examined it and everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
They sent me home, said intestine blockage. Monday morning rolls around. My neurologist, what do I want to call him?
Primary care?
No, it's the neurosurgeon.
Neurosurgeon.
Yes.
Sure.
He calls me up and he's like, hey, so you have a break L1. It's completely broken right
This
in
is your
half.
first lumbar break.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So he's like, you got to go back down, emergency surgery. So I get in the vehicle.
What the fuck, man?
Oh, yeah.
So wait, real quick. What is the timeline looking like to the X Games at that point?
6 days away, or 6 days from when I had to leave. I wanted to be out there a week early.
So you have a very, very bright spirit, as we know.
Yeah.
Got to be a little devastated.
I was.
Because you knew at this point, I'm not going.
Yeah.
You can't.
I did.
Oh, how do you deal with it? What were you feeling?
I honestly threw X Games right underneath the table. Didn't even cross my mind. I was like,
so you're in the mindset of, I need to get better.
I need to get better.
Because it's temporary.
Yeah.
Dude, I want your
Yeah.
outlook.
Yeah. No, it was like, what do I got to do to get better so I can get back to the normal everyday life? So I went in emergency surgery. I spent like 11 hours in there. It was so backed up. I was in the hallway sitting in a bed.
Sure.
No one's even tending to me. The hospital was crazy at this point.
So it wasn't like their fault. They were just overloaded.
Right. Yeah. Overloaded.
Did it help you that you were misdiagnosed twice in terms of coverage? How, I don't want to go down this too far because it doesn't matter, but how is insurance through all this stuff?
My mom, thank the Lord, she works the hospital.
Right.
And I had Anthem Blue Cross. I would be $1 million in debt right now.
Are you serious?
If it wasn't for that insurance.
I think that deserves a little. Fucking little DJ air horn for Terry Pierce, baby.
Yeah.
Terry's the best.
Yeah.
I didn't know she still worked there.
Yeah.
That's all. Good for her. So thank God.
Yeah.
And a lot of that misdiagnosis stuff is pretty bad too, because they'll
Yep.
pretty much cover their fault at that point, which is
Yep.
good, even if you don't have insurance. But anyway, so okay, you're sitting there, you're not getting the treatment you think you need because they're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You know you're not going. This is back break, well, number 2 technically,
Number 2. Yeah.
but number 1 post
Yep.
big event.
Yep.
Okay, you break your back again?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know this.
I raced X Games when I got the silver medal with a broken back.
You're kidding me. And you didn't know?
Nope.
Dude, this guy, holy. And you did it anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. How much info are we missing, do you think, between that back break, second back break, not knowing it, racing and getting your silver, and then realizing?
Well,
how did that pan out?
So I got the surgery, spent a few days in the hospital.
Yep.
5 weeks back to work.
By the way,
Good to go.
Again, because I feel like I'm close enough. I don't know if this stuff's true. I don't know the protocol here, but was it easier to deal with because there wasn't as much feeling? You know what I mean? Like, because you didn't have to acutely deal with it? Like the pain, the feel. Do you feel like it was easier to mitigate?
It felt like a broken finger to me, honestly.
Oh, so not a big deal.
But it was. I had
of
to
course
go
it
through this
was.
Huge surgery.
Yeah. Of course it is a big deal.
7-hour surgery. It was, but I couldn't.
But to you, it didn't really.
No, I couldn't really feel what was going on.
Okay. So in one way, kind of nice.
Right.
But in another, you broke your back again.
Yeah, again.
I mean, you're talking number 2.
So they went in, put a whole nother set of rods and screws in. So in the lumbar, fused that together, and then off I went. I was back to work in 5 weeks, good to go.
Felt fine.
Yep.
Good
Felt
recovery.
fine ever since. Everything healed up nice.
Yep.
Planning to go to X Games that following year,
Which would have been 2019.
2019.
Okay.
No.
2018.
2018 was I went out and got second, but it was a
Non-sanctioned.
non-sanctioned.
2019.
2019 broke my back.
Didn't go to 2019.
Didn't go.
2020.
2020.
So you're talking like almost pandemic time.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Crazy.
forget it's that soon.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Um.
So what happened to break your back the third time technically without you knowing? Just training for the.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I was all done. The second time I was like, nope, no more for me. I don't want to do this again. Then I got the idea of putting a seat shock underneath my seat on my dirt bike to give
Just
me
gives you
extra
more give.
suspension.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and I felt awesome practicing. This was like a month before X Games practicing. There wasn't much snow.
Okay.
Overshot a jump, hit wicked hard, and instantly I didn't feel the same sensation as before. I didn't feel like I was
Sick
gonna
and
vomit
nauseous, yeah.
whatever. So I thought it was just muscle damage. So I didn't even tell anyone what was going on.
Because even though muscle damage isn't not serious, it's very healable is not a word, but you can come back from muscle. Yeah.
So I went home, iced heat, ice heat for like 2 weeks straight.
Felt better?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't getting the same weird symptoms. So I was like, must
So
be
I'm
muscle.
assuming, but the second break was less serious?
Yes, it was less
Okay.
serious. It was it was fractured, it was like 3/4 of the way through
Oh, okay.
when I ended up.
And you raced with that?
Yep. So
Dude.
I went out. I felt absolutely fine.
Sure.
And then out in Colorado, some weird symptoms, like some bladder symptoms that I didn't normally get, started happening.
Sure. So your body's trying to tell you, like, something's not right.
At that point, I'm like, I'm out here. I'm just going with it.
Yeah,
So,
I love it. Your spirit's like, dude, I'm getting the
Yeah.
silver.
so
Well, you're probably thinking I'm getting the gold.
yeah, I'm getting the gold.
Yeah, you're
at
going
this
for
point.
it. Okay.
So we went out, raced, came across second place, which was
High your life.
at that point I knew I was getting the medal. So the last lap of the race felt like a million years. I was like,
Yeah.
don't go down, don't. And I just like,
So you were
kinda
being careful
cruised
because you're like,
it
I
in,
know
yeah.
I've got it.
Yeah.
And you at that point you would kind of realize you don't have first. He was
Yeah.
just too something.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was-
Luck of the draw.
Yeah.
It just went well for
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
No, I tried to charge and Doug Henry got first.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Doug, we're coming for you. We're coming
We're
to Connecticut.
coming.
I'm bringing him. We're
And-
doing it. We can bring this fully mobile.
Yeah.
Dude, we're going.
That's
How much
awesome.
fun would that be?
That'd be a blast.
Dude, we're doing it, Doug.
Doug's awesome.
Brandon's going to send this to you when it's out.
No.
We're doing it.
Definitely.
I'm going to jump in and ask you the question I've been wondering. I'm a big proponent of, well, Actually, in recent time, I've kind of distanced some from the whole law of attraction, new age thinking philosophy, The Secret, I guess. I'm not a huge Secret fan, but the farther reaches of that idea, right? And I go, and I'm taking your words now, not my own. You had mentioned you were really good, but you didn't think you were. Would it be true for me to say you didn't think you were X Games potential pre-accident? Like, did you think you were going to go to the X Games straight motocross?
No, because they didn't offer an event in the X Games for motocross.
Oh, there's no X Games for
they had
dirt bike?
They had freestyle, they had speed and style, which is like half hitting ramps, doing backflips and stuff, into some racing stuff.
More trick based.
They didn't have the full blown motocross, but I'm not gonna lie, I was far from being professional. That's what I was gonna ask, because my thing is this, right? I'm a romantic minded guy, so you got to take that as it is. And I was always wondering this. I said, Brandon Dudley, the kid that I grew up with, the kid that I know well, if your mind was dead set on the pinnacle of my achievement is I'm going to win an X Games medal. I've always wondered, it depends on how melodramatic you want to look at it in terms of morbidity. Is it weird that I think, did it take an event, a disaster? Let's not pull straws. I mean, this is something that changed your life. Yeah.
Did it take something like this to happen for you to win an X Games medal? I guess the best way to ask that question is, would you trade what happened to you? Would you do it again to win an X Games medal? I feel like nobody would ask you that because they don't feel comfy enough to ask you. That's a heavy question.
It is.
But it's a big one. Would you trade it? I mean, you've done something in your life, dude. I think of this when I think and this is nowhere near your caliber, but when I think like my demo EP, when it charted and it did what it did, I think, that is a big event for me. I never actually thought I could do that.
Yeah.
So when it happened, I think of all the heartbreak that led to that, all the shit I had to go through, again, nowhere near what you had to deal with.
Yeah.
And I know that. But I think about, would I do that again for that to happen? Because that's a huge moment. And most days my answer is, yeah, I'd do it again.
Yeah.
Personally. Again, I didn't have to deal with you couldn't even measure what I had to deal with versus you. But I wonder, would you deal with that again?
Honestly, X Games was always a dream of mine.
I know
I wanted to be there. I wasn't sure if it was going to be snowcross. If I got snowcross, I wish was bigger in Maine growing up.
Yeah.
Because I would have done that, racing snowmobiles rather than racing dirt bikes.
Of course.
I grew up riding snowmobiles way before I was riding dirt bikes.
I know that too.
But let's see.
That's a heavy question.
How do I want to put this?
I know it is. But
Yeah.
but I'm telling you, as one of your earliest friends, long time, almost family, I've wondered that. I go, this kid is so relentless on that goal. He was going to get it. Did the universe conspire? And I know this is crazy, to give him that achievement, but in the way that it gave it to him.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is.
Is that offensive or no?
No.
Okay, you would tell me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
No,
and I know you would.
Nothing's
But I'm just wondering, like, that is a thing. That is a thought. Would you take the hand you were dealt again? Because you realize, dude, you're a fucking X Games medalist, dude.
Yeah. No.
That's a big deal.
I guess the best way to put it is I wouldn't change a single thing.
There you go. And I've wondered that. And I remember talking to a close friend of mine who has a show on this channel with me. And I asked him, I said, listen, I know this kid. I've known him since he was a child. We are, old friends. And he knows my crazy mindset, my manic nuttiness. I'm like, will that offend him? And he's like, I don't know. He said, but it's the most interesting question you've asked me to ask him. And I'm like, I was like, I'll feel it out, but I feel like Brandon will get what I'm saying.
I'm an open book.
I know
nothing
you are.
You could ask me anything in the world.
It's just such an interesting question. Would you, you already answered, you wouldn't change a thing.
No.
You accomplished your goal.
I did.
It's amazing.
And some, I don't know who, but some people may try to take away from me that's how I got there.
Who?
I don't know.
How? It's harder.
People are crazy.
I mean, it would have been easier to train snowmobiles. Like what?
And this is a crazy sport. You're not out there cruising around on an adaptive bike. You're launching 60, 70-foot jumps still.
I was going to say, by the way, let me back him up. If you think that's the easy way out, go watch what they do. Dude, I wouldn't do that on a normal sled.
Yeah.
I mean, period.
And sitting down, jumping that high
Yeah.
is scary because if you're overshooting or coming up short,
Not a thing you can do.
you're in the air thinking like,
Yeah,
it's gonna hurt.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. I think it's amazing. I think your spirit and your outlook is amazing. I honestly aspire to have an iota of your look. I think it's something you should be extremely proud of if you're not. Have you ever thought, because I'm a media guy,
Yeah.
you know this all day long, why don't we shoot a documentary?
I've thought about it.
Why don't we?
Yeah. And
We could do it in like,
you have the producer skills.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And you know what, we could also kind of leverage that to younger people, kids,
Yeah.
schools, do a tour like that where you're speaking to, because I mean, I think a lot of people could honestly benefit from, outside of your accident and how well you take that, your mindset.
See, the thing is, I've thought about that, and I've always looked up to you because I'm not good public speaking.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I grew up in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I'm aware of my privilege. I mean, I was lucky to have been exposed to
I
it.
think in high school I skipped every single presentation that I had to present in front of the class
Sure.
because I didn't feel comfortable doing it.
And see, I'm also a very, sorry, I was cutting you off. That was
Yeah.
it? Yeah, I was going to say I'm an empath to the point where, as a producer, I always think about what's the best way to get across the message of the client or the person, right? And I go, well, if that is your caveat, then we shoot a really, really good, wholesome video to kind of give that.
Yeah.
And then you take questions.
Yeah.
You talk to these people, you let them pick you, but you don't have to get up there and like have this well-posed,
Yeah.
you know, have the movie do that for you, or
Yeah.
the little video, whatever. Dude, before we end, I have a couple fun things I wanted to do with you. I got
to take a leak. Is that?
Yeah,
Like
let's
good
take
to
a quick
do?
pause. Hey,
Yeah.
you guys may not see this. Maybe I'll put it in. I'm gonna play this quick thing. We're both gonna take a quick recess, and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Sorry about that quick little break. Listen, we got to do what we got to do, and that's how it is. Anyway, we were talking about a much heavier, existential type question to do with your accident, and I think it really does help because you're a very inspirational guy. You're an aspirational guy, at least for me. And I think that is a question most people wouldn't feel comfortable asking. But to me, it's the biggest question. It's, we have this idea of life when we're young. We have this like outlook of how our life's going to go. We have this trajectory. And a lot of us don't have heavy stimulus against us to be like, hey, guess what, bro? That's not how your life's going to go.
Yeah.
You got to have that in a way where like you took, at least from an outsider's point of view, the best of that away from it.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing to me that you were able and capable of doing that. It's crazy. And do you get that a lot from people looking in?
Yeah, I definitely do. And I don't know. I wouldn't change a thing. I think it made me who I am today.
Yeah.
And I've learned a ton, and I think the close people around me, it has changed their outlook on life.
Sure.
As well as a lot of people from afar.
Yeah.
A lot of strange.
I was going to say, I bet you benefit a lot of people you don't even know.
I'm in the grocery store, and I'm going out. I'm leaving, and I get random strangers coming up
That you don't even know.
Don't even know. They're like, I really look up to you, and you inspire me in every way
amazing.
possible. And that right there
It's worth it.
is worth it.
That's crazy, man.
It's awesome.
It's crazy. It's crazy that you have that outlook, and that's a righteous, very holistic point of view out of everything you've been through. It's crazy. Let's bring it to a lighter note while we close, because I have a question round I'd like to ask everyone at the end, but I have a even funner. I wish I had I need my little note cards for a fun thing. I want to see how accurate memory serves you on things that we like to do and did growing up. Okay. Question. Let's give her a little rewind here. All right. Question 1. What video game do you think we played the most as a crew?
Oh, jeez.
We're talking throwback, man.
That's a hard one.
I know. I'm split between 2. I don't even have these planned out. I'm just wondering.
Were we playing Tony Hawk back then?
Tons. Yeah. Underground?
Yeah.
Or Underground 2?
Yeah.
That was
It
a big one.
I don't know if I remember it. When you say them, I'll remember them. But
GTA Vice City.
yes.
Dude, we played the snot out of that game.
Yes.
And Halo, I remember we had 2 different Xboxes.
Okay, Halo wins.
Dude, one was in the
Halo
closet,
wins.
one was in my room, and
Yep.
we would just tether.
Halo wins.
Dude.
Yeah.
I went to a hockey practice with you, Logan, Terry, and Dick, and we were introduced to a song that then became kind of our friend anthem forever. Do you remember what it was? Again, we're coming from a band, so obviously we have a ton of anthems. Hint, it was a country song. Old one.
I don't remember.
The Gambler.
Yes.
Kenny Rogers. Dude, you're like, I've repressed all these.
Oh, yeah.
What was the most painful dumbass stunt that you remember doing? And then I'll tell you what I think it is, but I could be wrong. Ross took the brunt. Okay, you go first.
The best one, I don't know, painful. This one wasn't painful. The one I remember the most, just because it had you guys were in tears laughing at me,
shit.
and I had no idea what you guys were laughing at.
Here we go.
You guys sprayed me in Axe and every other flammable thing you could put on me.
And lit it?
Lit me on fire. And I was supposed to say, hi, my name's Brandon Dudley, and I'm a flamer.
That is so not PC, but I got to give because the joke is good. That's bad, dude.
It is, just because I was on fire.
And we gave no flame retardant. Like, you weren't gelled up.
No.
No one of your parents hated me, dude. I was going to say, I remember it was a very simple, straightforward little stunt, and it went very wrong. It was, we had a rope tied, talk about biking, to a BMX bike that you were on. You were riding the bike, and we had it tied to a plastic armchair, like a patio chair with Ross, and we were going to have it rip the legs out so he just ate shit. But what you didn't know is when you put your foot on the pedal, you wrap the cord. So when this rope got to its length, it literally just made you do a complete front flip, and you had no idea you were going to do that.
I remember that now. Yeah.
Oh my God, the footage was so good.
It was. It just simply
you just ate it. You just
catapulted me
because
right
that wasn't
into the
you had
ground.
no clue. That wasn't the plan.
I thought I was pranking someone else, and I felt like I got pranked.
No, it was so good, dude. We were so stupid.
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Seeing all this creative content out there and these guys on YouTube,
sure.
What do you think would have came about if we put all of our content in the right area at the right time on YouTube? You know, you see the Paul brothers. I don't know if you're familiar with
of course.
Logan and Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Nelk Boys. Are you familiar with them?
Yep. So to answer that, I had a long, One Wheels, the electric skateboards.
Yeah.
Me and a buddy, Justin. You remember Justin?
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard.
Yeah.
We went for a ride the other night. We were talking exactly this. We literally, our whole ride, couple-hour ride, we were talking just about this. And he goes, dude, what's funny is knowing me, he was saying, he's like, you had this idea of a content house decades before it was a real thing.
Yeah.
That's literally what we did.
You were too early.
That's what we did. And so we had this conversation because, me too, me and especially my older friends like him and stuff, that this type of shit is what we talk about. So he was like, it was like we had a podcast, but no one was listening. We're on our one wheel just talking.
Yeah.
And he's like, did you come too early? Do you feel slighted by that? Do you wish it would have stayed together? And I told him, I remember telling Logan one time when my family was like falling apart, addiction and all that stuff. We lived at our first place in Farmington before I boosted out of town. And I remember telling Logan, if you trust me and we stay doing this and we put all our ducks here, it will work. And here's the thing. Nobody trusted that, not even me. I was pretending I did to get them to. So I don't blame them because even I didn't. But I still feel to this day had actually they listened, because I was the guy that that like thrived off of camaraderie.
Oh, yeah.
If my tribe was saying yeah, then yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember saying this, and it's funny because it was kind of prophetic, because had we kept doing it, we probably would have been the first, which is really weird to think about. I mean, to my knowledge, we were.
And probably so many people say, a lot
I'm
of
sure
people
they do.
say this.
Right.
But I truly believe that we, I didn't do a whole lot of stunts with you guys.
You were way younger.
But
we were always worried about.
I was there, and I was.
Of course,
I was doing crazy.
You were
shit.
just as part of the crew as any of us.
Yeah.
You got to remember, we also knew, because we weren't as young, that like your mother would kill us if something actually happened. Where Logan was close enough, like you could just call him a friend.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, if I hurt Brandon, I'm dead. I'm dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that if you would have put those on, because you already had back then the producer skills.
Yeah. I've always been, it's weird. I say this because not a lot of people grew up with me. They don't realize, like, I've always been that naively ambitious idiot. Like, if we started skateboarding, I was printing skateboards in Ned's print shop in the garage. Like, I never half-assed shit. I was always like, what can we do? What's the biggest shit we can do with what we're doing?
Yeah.
And it's funny because those early Jackass ripoffs, they were shitty, but really, if you think about the time they were produced in and how young we were, they were dope, man.
If you put them in the right place,
right,
and it was the right time, like, I think around the time that started was like 2010 to 13 was this stuff was really coming to light.
Yeah, where the original dudes were blowing up, and that's when we were kind of ending.
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, I do wonder that. You know what the thing is though, dude? I think about that now, and I've been in a shitty place for just a depressive state of mind, and sometimes I look back on those glory days and I'm like, what if, like, this exact thing, like, dude, if we had taken this just an iota more serious, we'd be huge. And you know what's weird is I actually start to think in reverse. I go, media has never been as big as it is now. I have all the gear. I've invested tons of money in the gear because of music, and I'm like, there's absolutely nothing stopping us from doing it now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're going to throw you off a roof. Like, come on. But I mean, there's a million other things you can do. Vlogging, documentaries, in the life, follows. Like, there's a ton of stuff you can do. Yeah. At the end of the day, all of those ideas started because we have fun as a group. I think it was infectious. We have interesting lives and points of views, and that didn't change.
No.
The only thing that changed is, like, we're adults and we have jobs.
Right.
So it's like, it's still attainable. It's just, in what way? But it's funny you bring that up because it's very, again, I'm a huge proponent of synchronicity, and I literally 4 days ago had this conversation.
Yeah.
That's very weird because we were very much a content house before that was a thing, long before.
Oh, that was definitely
all we did.
A content house.
It was. Every time it's like, what are we doing today? It's like, okay, well, we're shooting 4 skits for the new movie. Yeah. We're shooting a music video.
You had it down in notebooks, like written, these scripts writ out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I say scripts, but it wasn't planned or acting.
Just ideas.
Actually doing ideas written down.
And it's funny because from the outside, it probably looked sloppy, but it's funny from an insider point of view, it wasn't. No. We had this shit planned out. Yeah. I remember researching cameras and what CCDs were and why I needed a 3 CCD cam and lavalier mics, and like everyone's like, just hang out with friends. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to, but also I want to make a sick movie with it. Like, why not? Because you can.
No, I watch Steve will do it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
He's part of the Nelk Boys, and he's spending $1 million per video on watches and stuff. And that's what they grew up doing, just making stupid videos, chugging stupid stuff.
But they understand the back end of it, where it's like, planning. You don't take away anything from planning; you add to it. And it seems like the opposite. People go, if we plan it, it won't seem real. It's going to be real. You're a real guy. Yeah. But the funny thing is, I think the takeaway for me too is like, we just because we're not 16 anymore and we don't want to make Jackass movies, as I get older, I'm like, dude, that was never going to work. Jackass is amazing. You're never going to compete. Just because they're your idols and they're great, fine, let them be that. We, Brandon Dudley, Daniel Taylor, whoever else the cast is, we have our own stories. We have our own unique take and our strengths. And there's no reason you can't show that in some new way.
No, exactly.
And I think that's something to aspire to. Yep. And part of the conversation there is getting you on, reacquainting, letting you talk long form, let people like dig into your story. Yeah. Before we close up, I always ask people this because I'm, as you know, a producer first and foremost. Yep. So I love media. We're going to go back and forth, just 4 questions. If you had to pick one book, or it can be anything read, a blog, a magazine that you think people are sleeping on, that you think they would benefit from, what do you think it would be?
That's a tough question.
I get that every time.
It is.
Not a lot of people read anymore. No, everyone's got Audible and they're listening to
Honestly, I've read one book since high school.
Are you serious?
One book.
What is it?
American Sniper.
By Kyle.
Chris Kyle.
Chris Kyle. Yes. Chris Kyle. Yeah, good book.
Yeah.
Killer book.
So good.
Yeah.
I'm really in. I like to get really into depth with that.
Well, your life is a show of this. This is what we've talked about for 2 hours now. It's like the vigor, the dedication. Yeah. It's I mean, that's at least the themes are close.
It does. Yeah. That type of theme really interests me. And
sure.
I have a lot more books that I bought since that book. I got really in depth with that type of thing, and I haven't got to read them yet, but
sure.
No, I
American Sniper. That's a good one.
yeah, no, it is really good, and I loved the movie, and I read the book, and it was amazing.
And it's funny because like I ask this every guest, and you think I would plan my answers, and I'm an idiot, and I didn't. My book today. It's funny because I give The Secret a lot of shit because it's such a puddle deep version of New Age philosophy, but in the context of what we've talked about, I think The Secret by Rhonda Burns is a good answer because it is a nice intro if you're not used to the New Age philosophy into that, the whole pseudoscience and frilly stuff. That aside, it is a good, precursor to that. Second is a artist, song, or album. Doesn't matter. And it doesn't have to be that you think people are missing out on. Yep. It can just be one of your favorites.
So I listen to all kinds of music.
Of course.
I'm in country, I'm in punk rock.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Anything. And right now I'm on a MGK kick.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
He's killing it. I remember skating to My Bloody Valentine, I think it was. That's a dope track, man.
It is.
It's like a resurgence of that like early 2000s post-punk kind of. It's cool. It's cool. I get down to that.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't planned anything. Right now I've listened to anything Tyler Childers, whatever it is.
Good.
Killer. Don't even know the kid's name. I've listened to all his stuff.
My girlfriend loves him.
He's good, man.
He's good.
And I listened to him because I've had people, high school friends, send him and be like, dude, do his stuff. You remind me of him.
Yeah.
Didn't know him.
Yep.
And I listened to him and he's the emotion is real.
Speaking of you doing stuff, my favorite cover that you did.
Let me guess. Simple Man?
No.
What? Okay.
No. Chris Stapleton.
Oh, on tour.
Tennessee Whiskey.
Did you see the video of us, the full band?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, dude.
That was, so I'm not going to lie. The other day I'm at work. I have my AirPods in.
Yeah.
It came over Spotify, not your cover, but
I know we can't put ours on Spotify.
The song.
Crying.
And I'm like, holy shit. How did is this Daniel on Spotify?
Oh, and you didn't know I did it.
No, I did.
Oh.
This was just the other day.
Okay.
So I had already known you did this. That was a couple, 2-3 years ago that you did that.
Yeah, that was the tour to support that record on the chimney. So that bootleg we shot was in New Haven, Connecticut, I think. Weirdly enough, talk about Connecticut. But it's funny, we weren't shooting for a full song. We were shooting for a demo reel, like a teaser reel. And I remember when we were editing it, I got like the text like, hey, come up here right now. And I boosted up to where we edit. This was the old house. And they showed me the full cut. And I was like, we just struck gold. We lucked out. Like that, very rare in tour to have everything come together that well.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no debate. This is getting put out.
No, that was amazing.
And it's not some pinnacle in video, but like the point was we caught it. We captured it.
No, you hit that right
And the
on
Justin
the head.
Timberlake, that's the one where we did the double version.
Yeah,
dude.
No, that was awesome.
That's all. I appreciate that. That was fun, man. That was a fantastic band. Shout out to Josh Hiltz, Andrew Belmore, and Leif Devine. Those guys are monster players. And Brad Truman for sound, and Ray Ziegler for sponsoring the tour. We had a giant crew for that whole tour. Catherine Hodge, Jay Rich, Hayden Camferman, Darby Sabin. God, we had a giant tour. Casey Mills, Kelsey Baloris, huge crew. That was a great time. The third of 4 questions: a movie, TV show, or visual media that, again, either you think people need to see because they're not watching, it's like not talked about enough, or just a favorite. Again, not a big hill to die on, just whatever you think.
Honestly, my favorite movie is Shooter.
Oh, it's so good, dude. Mark Wahlberg, he killed that movie. Yeah. That is a dope movie. Again, I don't plan these, so mine right now is The Sopranos. Yeah. I know it's like a iconic show, but I'd never watched it. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Dude, it's good. It's good. That era, like, it almost reminds me of Coppola's, like, The Godfather. Like, I forget I'm watching a show. Yeah. They seem like real mafia guys. It's really good.
My favorite show, I think, is Queen of the South.
Oh, yeah, I've heard.
Have you seen
really
that?
Good. No, but I've heard it's
you need
awesome.
To watch it.
Yeah,
watch
dude.
It, yeah.
I'll add it to my watch list. The last question before we let you go. And actually, before I get to the last question, I want to reiterate. Dude, amazing to catch up. This is long overdue.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming on.
No,
this is not an isolated incident. When that new vodka comes in, I got for you. We're doing it again.
Oh yeah.
And Doug, we're coming to Connecticut. I'm bringing him. He can just chill. He's going in the back seat. He can lay down, whatever he wants to do. We're coming to you. That'd be so much fun, dude.
Yeah,
bring the podcast, talk about this stuff.
Me and Doug we traveled together out to X Games.
Yeah.
I hauled his bike and he followed us in his van. On the way back,
Amazing.
me and him drove his hand-controlled van. We swapped out driving on the way back. Just
On real time.
Just real time.
Yeah.
Nothing better than that. Just
That's
hanging
it,
out,
man.
just us two in the van. Just
And I would love to see, like, again, I think this is a nice peer in where people don't really talk about this stuff long form. To get another guy that has experienced this and get another take with you guys would be really cool.
Yeah.
We're going to do that.
and
we're going to do that.
And he has a pro motocross
He's a veteran.
championship.
Yeah.
Was the first guy. Yeah. I'm going to say it. First guy to race a 4-stroke motorcycle in the pro motocross scene.
You kidding me? So this guy's a veteran,
Yeah.
like bona fide.
Yeah.
I love it.
They were all 2-strokes, and Yamaha, he had a deal with Yamaha back then.
That was it.
And the Yamaha 426, he was out bombing on that thing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Dude, Doug, we're coming for you. And yeah, man, it's been really cool. I love the look in. And again, listeners, real quick, and I don't plug this show enough because I feel like this part of the business is just kind of, sticky. But listen, if you like what you're hearing, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, dislike if you don't take it. Tell us how we can improve. We love it. If you're familiar with Brandon's story, let me know your take. We'd love the camaraderie. I'd love to know how you feel. Do you think producing a mini series with Brandon would be cool? Because we have the means, dude. We could do it.
Yeah, let us know. And I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, dude, you should write a book.
Or right, one and the same. We could do both.
Because I have some crazy stories.
Oh, I know.
And
I feel like we've hit the tip of the iceberg. Like episode 2, when we get him back in a couple weeks, it's going to be.
This is like.
This is a precursor.
Yeah, it is.
Right. And get this, when I post this, Brandon will share it, and you'll watch the comments too, so we can gauge people's interest and see what we think. Because this is a conversation that will be continued. Yeah. The last question I asked Brandon, and it's okay if you don't know this or if you're not familiar, are you a podcast fan at all?
I am.
Okay, good. So the last question is there a podcast you think people are sleeping on that they should be listening to, or one of your favorites?
I don't know if I have a favorite.
Are you like me? You bounce around between. Yeah.
So I kind of get, I don't know. It's weird. I get listening to a podcast and they'll mention, like I was listening, what podcast was that the other day? They were talking about, I can't think of what podcast I was on, but they were talking about this guy that used to be in the mafia.
Oh, no shit. Weird.
And he has some crazy stories, got away with it all. And now he has this podcast. So I started listening to his podcast.
Really good.
I just went for the stories, and he had some wild
and you don't know
stories.
The name?
I don't.
I'll try to research this while I edit and see if I can plug it in the bottom. If not, I mean, I'm probably easy to find.
Yeah.
Mafia.
No, what was his name? John.
I feel like I know who you're talking about. Very famous podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember. I do listen to the Jocko podcast.
Oh yeah, Jocko's dope.
Jocko. I listen to Impulsive.
Yep,
Logan
with
Paul.
the Pauls. Yep. Dude, they've had some dope guests on recently. Like, I follow very closely stand-up comedy. Yeah. And Tim Dillon and all these guys. Theo, I think, went on that. I don't know. But yeah, they actually they have a pretty good podcast. I like that a lot.
Jeez, I can't think of the name of that.
A mafia-based podcast.
It's wild. You hear some crazy stories.
I believe it. I believe it.
What about you?
Well, I always end with the same one, and I would say if you're going to check out a new podcast,
this one.
Let it be this one. Yeah. I want to give a huge thank you again to my man, Brandon Dudley. Cheers, my man. Great to catch up.
Thanks for having me on.
Promise me this isn't our last time. Okay, we got it. You heard the man. When we get Ignite by Dan Bilzerian in the house, we're going to have Brandon back on. We're going to dig deeper into these cool things. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe whatever you're listening to this on, and we will see you guys next time.